Current drink, thanks for asking. Tequila and Amber Edition Red Bull. Because I need to be awake. And I've only had 3 shots worth of tequila. I did measure my drink.
What mode do I enter to start this recording? Because here's the thing. I have 2 bottles of sake before me. I have a pretty classic. This is a Nanbu Bijin, Junmai sake. Pretty typical. No
Fucking
flavor
weeb.
to it. Just like a classic sippin' Junmai sake.
Sippin'.
And then I have
flavor.
Ripper mode.
Wait, which one is that? Is that the no sake?
This is cherry flavored Junmai sake. Hanakohaku. Do I start cherry or do I start regular?
No, go hard from the beginning.
I have Brian holds up a martini glass with an olive in it. I love you.
I have I think 3 drinks worth of martini in this cocktail shaker.
That's beautiful. All right.
And martinis are all alcohol. So, okay, are we ready to get in?
Chin chin, we're going Ripper mode.
Kampai.
Kampai. That kind of whips. That's pretty good.
Which one is
Cherry
it?
flavor.
The cherry.
It has a good vibrance. You're doing cold sake, not hot sake, right?
Yeah, for once, because I wanted to have the 2 options, but I didn't want to heat up 2 bottles. So, okay.
I'm so
let's
impatient.
Get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hello, everyone who's already heard all the other stuff. Let's have an episode, shall we?
All systems nominal.
You know what the weak point of a mech is? The fucking pilot.
Get away from her, you bitch!
His papers say he was a Raven. Protocol 3.
A pattern blue!
Welcome to On the Shoulders of Giants, a giant robot power hour discussing mechs across media, their stories, and why we love them. I'm Nico, and I'm joined by Alice.
Like the good old days after 9/11.
And Brian.
Born to Die, Denver is a fuck, Kill 'em all 2018, I am Cyborg Man, 410,757,864,530 dead cops.
This time around, we are cracking open some cold ones, and we are breaking down an average Tuesday for a cyborg ninja. The game Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Let's launch into it.
I feel like our bonus drinking episodes have reached a level of extra.
Do you, Alice? Alice,
Yeah.
Okay. Alice pre-gamed. Brian prepared, and I just took a sip of sake, so
I've been
let's
drinking
get
for
into
an
it.
hour, baby.
I took very minimal notes here, because it's more important to let the experience of Metal Gear Rising wash over you. It's more important to take that experience as it comes. But Metal Gear Rising Revengeance will be our last installment in the Metal Year.
The Metal Year.
I know. First try, best try. I have to work up to the Metal Year after. Hey, did this fix what Kojima did to us?
I
No.
think it fixed America.
I think this might be the worst video game I've ever played.
Well,
Where's
you played it. Okay.
Where's the fucking outline document?
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's a fucked up Google Doc that I didn't even rename. I'm going to send it to you.
We did say a couple times that we weren't going to be doing it this way.
But you know what?
Yes, ma'am.
I made some
I want to
important...
be very clear. I understand that. I understand and recognize that.
Okay, I'm copying the
Comma.
link. Okay.
The link.
Yeah, it's I didn't even rename this document. We are going so sloppy style.
Wait, but did you spell it document with a K?
No, it's called copy of episode outline template.
Oh my god, you actually took notes on this shitty story? Holy shit,
I
Nico.
took the most important notes in the world.
What does a bonus tipsy episode mean for
it's
On the
been-
Shoulders of Giants?
It's been a grip. I respect this. Okay, it's been a grip. If you have not listened to a bonus episode of ours before, damn, Brian. Okay, I gotta be drinking some sake. I gotta catch up. But if
you have the full shaker there next to you, right? Oh my god!
Oh, we refilling. We have not even started the
Get that
summary.
ASMR.
For a bonus episode, we set aside some of the trappings of our typical episode where we're consummate professionals who cover things in a journalistic style. And we drink alcohol and we discuss things in the manner that God intended, which is wasted and having a jolly time. Now, a funny development since the last time we recorded a bonus episode, we used to record at night. And we now record on Sunday mornings, the Lord's
Brunch
Day.
hour.
Yeah, it's 9:10 a.m. for me, folks.
It is 8:10 a.m. in the beautiful Pacific.
In the good, I don't mind doxing myself, in the good city of Denver, where I will say that I truly hate when my commute to work is ruined by the fact that a cyborg ninja has dropped from an airplane and has to kill a bunch of cops to get out of the city. It happens every Thursday, and I just can't handle it anymore.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna get started on
Please do.
Can I
some
put on
details.
Can I put on my glasses first
Yeah.
No.
so I can
Oh.
see the screen?
Alice, can you put on your glasses? So for the record, because this is not a visual medium, Alice
This is
is
a visual
wearing
medium.
a bandana that Alice has worn before for unlimited ammo, but crossways across her face as
So-
per Raiden.
For every Metal Gear Solid episode, I have worn a bandana, but because of Metal Gear Rising, it is covering my left eye. I will keep this on the entire time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's how good.
Yeah, to open us up here, let me just say,
Hey.
feels nice not to take like the world's most extensive notes, to not have to watch like 5 hours of video footage for Metal Gear game.
Okay, how did everybody experience Metal Gear Rising Revengeance? I really
I have a
need
bone to
know.
pick. I have to say something because I have to
Yes.
stand in my principles.
It's finally time for Brian to to air the grievance.
I have
I
to
love
air
that
a
for
grievance,
them.
which is just that I think that my opinion of this video game is going to be significantly lower than Nico's because I played the video game. And let me tell you something.
Experienced it.
I think that with video games in particular, playing them yourself is such like an integral part of the experience. With the Metal Gear, there were some exceptions made just because mostly we wanted to talk about how batshit this story was, and that's totally fine. However,
There's
the
like 2 hours of
gameplay-
story in Rising.
the gameplay
There's
of
so
Metal
much.
Gear Rising Revengeance is so god awful that I don't think that anyone should play this game. This game has overwhelmingly positive on Steam, which tells me that it's not that it's a port. It's not that it's a bad port. This game sucks.
What are you talking about? Okay, here's my. I'm coming out of the weeds.
Hold on,
this.
hold on. Table stakes. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is a 2013 action-adventure game developed by Platinum Games and published by Konami.
Correct.
So this is a spin-off of the Metal Gear franchise. Y'all have known a little bit about this. What was Kojima's relationship to Revengeance as it was in development? Because it was
He
supposed to
wasn't
come out
fucking
early.
there. He said, "Do whatever you fucking want. I'm working on Peace Walker."
He wasn't there. It was in the midst of his increasingly contentious relationship with Konami. And also, I believe the only production fact that I know about this game, which was shared to me yesterday by friend of the show Ghost, was
Thank
that
you, friend of the show, Ghost.
it took something like 18 months to make, and it shows.
So I got deep into the production of Metal Gear Rising, and they literally put an artist as the director. They really just were like Kojima hands off, but also
It
they
shows 'cause
realized
this
they
is all
worked
art.
for Kojima. It's beautiful art. I wanna I don't want to be put in the same corner as Nico. I found my physical copy, put that shit in my PS3, and I fucking played some of this goddamn game. And
Beautiful.
I deeply remembered how much I was bad at it.
Yeah.
Are you bad at it, or are you a gamer contending with a game that is not designed for human use?
There are things you have to do with that controller that no human should ever, with their hands, have to complete.
And yet, like all Kojima, like associated media, the worse it is in one way, the more excellent it is in another.
It's so baffling. We have to get into it.
Hey,
Okay.
hey, listeners, just so you know, I'm drinking tequila in honor of Raiden's cultural heritage as established by this game.
I can't talk about this yet. We have to get there organically because you know what?
I want to say something very important. This is, as far as things stand now, the terminus of the Metal Gear timeline.
In the way that G-Savior is the terminus of the Universal Century timeline,
Yes.
Metal Gear Rising is the terminus of the Metal Gear Solid timeline.
Nothing has happened after this.
Isn't that the wildest thing? We have to get into it. But Jesus
the world
fucking
drawn
Christ.
by Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is the world created by Snake and Otacon's sacrifice. Oh, anyway. So yeah, this game was not the last game made. Obviously, that was... One of you tell me what the last game made was. Anyway.
That bullshit.
Okay,
thing
I
that
didn't know if it was
Kojima
Phantom
did.
Pain or there was like a mobile game.
Oh
Alice was about to tell me
no,
about.
what is it? Metal Gear Survive. That's the most recent one.
The worst
Okay.
shit ever.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the most recent game, but in terms of the timeline of the series, this is the end of it. Like this starts in the distant dark year of 2018.
2018.
Ah!
Okay, can I say so this game came out in 2013.
Yes.
It just predicted America.
The last 45 minutes of this game literally gave me a panic attack.
Yeah.
Like I'm being 100% serious. You know, one of the discussions that we've had recently is that we should, especially over the next 4 years, talk a lot more and talk very unabashedly about being a queer podcast.
Yes.
I am 100% serious that I had to pause and step away and hyperventilate for a moment because the ending of this video game gave me... Okay, Trump's first presidency started in 2016. This game comes out in 2013 and contains possibly, I mean, the best line read, better than any of Trump's. The best line read of Make America Great Again.
Make
that has
America great again.
ever happened in all of media or real life
When
by
I
any
heard
human
that,
being.
The way that I was like, what the fuck?
How do
Yo,
you feel about that?
What the fuck?
Like, no, they didn't just say that.
And in case it isn't obvious, at time of record, it is recently transpired that America has chosen fascism yet again. Hey, what's up? Everybody stay strong.
Hey.
Let's go, fascism.
Yay. All
no,
right,
don't yay it.
well,
Hey.
I will say I'm already halfway through Ripper mode, which is promising. I'm trying to catch up.
Slow down. I'm at a level you'll never achieve.
What was your relationship with this game like before this episode? Because obviously, Brian, your recent play experience has colored this, but like, did y'all have a relationship before this episode with this game? Yeah?
Yes. I played this when it came out because I wanted more Metal Gear after 4 because I loved 4. Did I finish it when I first played it? Yes. Do I remember most of it? Absolutely not. When I came back to this for this record, yes, I did play a little bit of it. And then I got to the guerrilla units, which fuck those guys. And then I said, fuck it, I'm watching a Let's Play to remind myself about what happened. So that is my history with Metal Gear Rising, is I played it and I beat it. I don't remember much of what happened. And then I went and reconsumed this via Let's Play.
All right, Bri, what was your relationship like?
So my playthrough over this last week was my first time playing the game.
Okay.
Wait, really?
I had-
Your first time
I had never-
actually touching.
I had no idea, like, I mean, obviously I knew about Senator Armstrong, like I'd seen the memes, yada yada yada. I'd probably like watched the memes, the DNA of the soul. But I specifically had a relationship with this game when it came out of like, this was the first IP thing I remember being like, I'm not interested in this. This is clearly a cash grab. This is clearly something that doesn't like need to exist. I wouldn't say that I necessarily felt, I wouldn't say that I've always felt satisfied with the way Raiden's story ends. But I do think that my suspicions were correct and that this game is just another full-on regression campaign for Raiden. I like don't understand that. I don't understand why they thought like mentioning Rose and his son like twice throughout the whole game was just sufficient in understanding like what his actual everyday
Literally
situation
twice.
was like.
Raiden's whole story to me seems to be the Bugs Bunny meme of Lord forgive me, I'm going back to the old me. Like every time he appears, he's going back to the old me.
I know every
Yeah.
time it's one last job. Every time it's like, I specifically was like, I just have no interest in this. And as it turns out, I was morally correct at the age of what? 13. No, 10. No. 20.
It came out in
No.
2013, my beloved.
Hold on. 20,
math,
20,
do the
20,
math.
20,
Yeah,
20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20.
You started at 10 and 13 and ended with 20.
No, it's 20. I got it.
Time is
I was 20
Locked
years old.
in.
I'm putting it together right now. I had a PS3, I had an Xbox, I had everything I needed to play the game, and I said no. I 100% said no. So
Yeah,
Good for
I will
you.
say, while other people were playing Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, I was still trying to play Alan Wake, so that's kind of
Gotta get
my
that
sad
flashlight.
man. That
Is
my
a flashlight
sad man.
a katana in this essay? Hey, Nico, what did you know about Metal Gear Rising?
It turns out that like every funny moment from Metal Gear that wasn't directly related to Solid Snake, I knew about was from this game. Nanomachine's son,
Machine, son.
a man from the University of Texas, the memes of the soul,
I played college ball, you know.
the entirety of Raiden's appearance and lifestyle. Everything I knew was from this game. And so for me, in a way, it's kind of like the theme from Fast and Furious 7, See You Again, is playing in my head as I experience Raiden's beautiful story.
As you slowly drive down different
Like-
roads.
Do you guys know who this man is? He has a
Which
Batman voice that he uses when he's talking to enemies.
Raiden is twisted. Welcome to my beautiful
I don't
mind.
understand what's going on.
I'm obsessed with my
Nico-
fucked up son.
Nico, I need
Yeah.
a summary of what happened.
Okay,
in Metal Gear
let's talk
Rising
about what happened to Metal
Revengeance.
Gear Rising Revengeance. As my co-host can see, I did not write a summary. We are going off of what I remembered this game.
Vibes
Okay.
only. It's a bonus
And I'm going
episode.
to try-
Bonus episode.
No,
That
here,
is
you know
true.
what? I'm gonna give you this. Hold on. I'm gonna
Okay.
say this right now. I'm torturing Nico live on air.
Okay.
You've got to give a Just King Things 5-sentence summary.
Thank you.
of
I
Metal
was
Gear
literally
Rising.
like, I've got to do the 5-sentence summary off the top of the head.
What does this mean? Do I know
From
this?
the podcast Just King Things, they have to summarize whatever book they've read in 5 sentences without preparing it beforehand. You can use parentheses, semicolons, and em dashes, but you
I'm
have to
in.
just write it out loud. Okay.
I'm so in. Let's go.
Okay, sentence-
Nico, give it
sentence
to
one.
us.
Sentence 1. Following the events of Guns of the Patriots, while Snake and Otacon are being executed in Nuremberg, Raiden is partaking of the white man's hobby, trying and failing to stabilize Africa. Period. He does this with the help of the PMC he works for, Maverick, and his team of homies. But when things break bad, as Desperado PNC challenges them, he goes on a rogue quest for Revengeance, period. Okay, that's sentence 2. Sentence 3, I have to remember what happened in the middle of this game, other than the extremely ethnic child.
You cannot.
The Jar Jar Binks kid, you mean?
Every
Misa,
ethnicity
George
is happening
Washington.
at once. Through a series of missions in Guadalajara and Denver, exotic locations such as Guadalajara and Denver, Colorado,
Brian
he uncovers a conspiracy between Desperado PMC and Senator Armstrong to destabilize the world and create eternal war forever, and fights a bunch of guys, period. These are fucked up sentences. Hey, Ghost, when you listen to this one, can you transcribe my fucked up sentences?
Thanks, Ghost.
Okay, sentence 4. Come to find out, Raiden has a minty bee. Raiden has a little... a little going back to the old me. And becomes evil mode Raiden, Jack the Ripper, and fights a bunch of dudes and finds out that Desperado and his entire life, in fact, is being used by Senator Armstrong to spring him into the White House in the dark year of 2020, which it did predict that 2020 presidential election would be the choice between darkness and light. Period. Final sentence. The final sentence of what happens in Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I don't know why the sake is hitting me in these 5 sentences.
I think we're in like 7 sentences.
No.
No.
It's really long.
Because Nico didn't say the period. The period is when the sentence ends it. They're run-on sentences, which my...
Got it. No, I got it.
I'm writing a little bit like William Faulkner right now.
Okay, got it.
William Faulkner doesn't deserve this.
Okay, final sentence. Raiden confronts Senator Armstrong on his Tachikoma mech, which is huge and in Pakistan. But the real mech was Senator Armstrong, who's full of nanomachines and the power of Texas University football. And Raiden is only able to defeat him due to a wolf he got in a divorce. And that's the end of Metal Gear Rising.
Y'all, hey, if you haven't played this game, that is literally the end of Metal Gear Rising.
It's unironically, I played ball at Texas University. Thank you.
Texas. The only way it could have been better is if they name drop Baylor. Like if
No, it's funny because he says, I played college ball, and then Raiden's like, at some pussy Ivy League, and then he's like, no, I went to Texas University. Like, that's some kind of own. Like, that's some kind of flex.
Well,
Guys.
as all Americans know, Texas is the Dark Souls of football. That doesn't make it.
Fuck Texas football.
That is the OSG hard stance.
Texas is the
Guys, we're lost, and it's 10 minutes into this record. Let's go to the break.
Let's go to the break. Hey, Nico here in the break. Just wanted to let you know that while this is a podcast, and we'll always do our best to describe visuals we're commenting on, we'll also include links to the mechs and images we discuss in the show notes, and post actual photos on our show website. Along with that, make sure to check the show notes for content warnings as appropriate to the episode. That's all for now. Back to the show. Alice is getting sent to the hospital by Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance or nothing.
I need to talk about my French wife.
Okay, yeah, I knew. All right, we're back from the break.
Welcome back from the break.
Yeah.
The break.
Yeah. So this game begins, and I didn't specify the beginning part, how I experienced this game. As God intended, as a cutscene movie on YouTube.com. They have this shit in 60K, 4K, fucking 60 frames a second, 4K. Like, if you want to experience the beautiful story of Raiden Revengeance, don't play the game.
Fuck, playing the game sucks. Brian.
Playing the game sucks. Let me just hash this out real quick, just so I can give you guys like a quick review.
Tell me.
Yes.
The especially for Nico.
Yes.
So, this game does not have a block button. The block button is generally lean in the direction of your enemy and press the same button you use to attack, and sometimes it'll work. That's the parrying mechanic.
Sometimes is the very key thing.
Oh my god.
The other cool thing is no enemy can ever do anything interesting unless it is stun you and force you to wiggle the left control stick. You will probably spend about 50% of your gameplay experience wiggling the left control stick because Raiden gets stunned easier than a fucking baby rabbit or a fucking cow
Or smashing
for the slaughterhouse.
In some parts.
And I'm serious. There is not an enemy, including the final boss in this game, that can do anything interesting other than make you stunned and make you wiggle the left analog stick. That is the only thing anyone can ever do for 7 hours of gameplay.
Brian, you're starting to affect my enjoyment of it.
Good.
It fucking sucks to actually play this game. Brian is 100% correct.
Third, it looks like shit. Everything is weightless. Nothing has any movement. Everyone's facial animations look like they are so yacked on cocaine that they are struggling not to swallow their own tongues. This is the worst video game of all time.
I do actually have a note pretty deep in here that says, "This is nothing but Jetstream Sam smiles like Harry Dubois."
You cannot drop his name this early.
His name is... Let me say this right now about my notes. Every time I have to mention Jetstream Sam, I put ... Jetstream ... Sam ... Like, I hate this man more than...
Raiden possessed you to write those notes.
Okay, there's a character called Jetstream Sam, and we're expected to take this at face value. Brian is 100% correct. I fucking hated playing this game. The mechanics fucking suck. It is impossible to actually play this game in a way, like, okay, you can play it on the easiest mode, which, like, whatever, am I right, guys? Gamers! But if you play this at even normal level, fucking hell, it sucks to play. Even when you get to the cutting parts, it.
And you know what, listeners, let me just say this. You may be saying, this sounds like a skill issue. You may be saying, get good. And you know
Brian
what? You're
plays
right.
Dark Souls for fun, okay? I don't know what...
Well, okay. I play Dark Souls for fun. I'm a Dark Souls till I die type person.
300 hours in Elden Ring.
500 hours in Elden Ring, thank you.
Yes.
I just, this is not my strong suit. This is a different type of action game. This is a different type of thing that it's going for. This is also a 7-hour commercial for the 6-axis motion control feature, which, like, I suspect sucks just as bad as trying to use the analog sticks to do this. So,
I like
whatever.
that Brian is holding a martini glass up while saying
You
this
need to
entire
imagine
thing.
everything Brian is saying is while holding a martini glass with 2 olives in it, okay? I need you to understand this.
These olives also have garlic and jalapeno in them.
Damn.
Too spicy, much like Raiden's,
Everything?
Everything. So we opened this game in Africa.
and
Holy fucking shit, do we open this shit Hey, we're in Africa.
I don't even fucking know.
They
Is
don't
it real?
give us shit. It's just in an African country.
Well, there's a flag pin on his lapel, and I didn't look up what flag that was.
So we've regressed, right? Because actually, no, we haven't regressed. Because in Metal Gear Solid 4, we go to Eastern Europe. We go to South America. We don't go to any countries. And this video game is doing the same thing. We do not go to...
Well, to be fair, I didn't Google. I DuckDuckGo'd. I DuckDuckGo'd Namani Revengeance flag pin, and it's just giving me Confederate flag pins. What the fuck are you talking about?
Please send us our emails about what Nico just said. I'm open to them. I would love to read all of them and post them in our chat.
I'm Googling them now.
But let me just say this. This whole opening thing, like...
Yeah.
We have talked on this podcast, we have talked in the Metal Year about this franchise's proclivity to kind of devalue Metal Gear Ray by throwing it at everything, by having a million of them.
They did your girl so wrong.
They did my girl so wrong. We have one Metal Gear Ray in this game. She is in the first 15 minutes. She is unmanned, and you just effortlessly slice her into 9 million pieces.
Hey,
Yeah,
I need
it's
you to
kind of
know,
fucked. Yeah.
canonically, Namani's country in Africa is not a real country. That flag means nothing.
I
I
kind
just
of
need
figured.
you to know. It's just
Well, that's one of the things this game is doing. And I don't think it's on purpose. I think it's a side effect of being made in 18 months. But like speaking as, again, someone who lives in Denver, they will just put some buildings and a gray sky and some roads down and call it a specific place.
It's weird that the development cycle on this was so short. Like, they were really just like, we're going to capitalize on the technology we made for MGS4, and nobody's
This
involved.
fucked up, like, Lagos alternative or whatever looks
Yeah.
exactly the same as Denver.
Yeah,
Like,
but there's a slight yellow filter on it. It
there's
must
a
be
slightly
said.
it must be said too, like, Denver has a slightly iconic skyline just because we have a couple of really ugly buildings. They could not even be bothered to
couple?
include, like,
It's a
there's
pretty
a
ugly
building that looks
skyline.
like a cash register. Everyone calls it the cash register building. It is an iconic shape in Denver's skyline. They could not even have a shadow. They could not even sketch a shadow of the cash register building. Like, this is not Denver. This could be Chicago. This could be LA. This could be New York. This could be Lagos. This could be fucking France for all we know. Like, it's so strange, the decisions made here.
Yeah. So yeah, Raiden has been working for a PMC called Maverick, and they're a good PMC. Okay, listen,
They're the
Patriots
good
are
guys.
dead.
Hey,
The Patriots are dead. Raiden's wearing a suit. We are
I
progressing.
don't give a shit about that. Can we talk about the big titty lady that works for Maverick?
No, because that's a while off, Alice. We have a lot of horse shit to contend with before you get to
Wait,
look at
are we
French
going
tits.
item by item on Metal Gear Rising Revengeance?
Yes, we are, through my beautiful notes. Anyway, we meet some guys who joined the war on the side of war. Okay? And it's Desperado PMC.
They're our main antagonists. They're called Desperado.
Which just got fucking Desperado by the Eagles stuck in my head the whole time. Which actually, if you listen to that song and then
by
listen,
the Eagles.
yeah, if you listen to that song,
Top
and
10 butch things ever said on the internet.
Right?
if you listen to that song and then just look at a PNG of Jetstream Sam's face, you will experience the emotion that he is experiencing.
His name is Jetstream Sam. Just to
Okay.
get that. I know we talked about this already, but his name is Jetstream Sam.
Okay,
Fuck-
and I need
fuck
to.
him.
I skipped over it. Okay, Raiden has a crew
Hey.
that are supporting Raiden.
The team.
These are my memories of Raiden's crew. Okay, I'm not looking up their
give
names.
them to me one by one. Let's go.
There's Russian Guyevich,
Yes.
who is his
Who
main
is-
handler. Okay, and then there's Computer Girl, who's just like Kinsey Kensington from Saints Row. She's there. And then
Hey, don't
there's
do that to
Dr.
Kensington. She actually went out there and did shit. This bitch doesn't do crap.
There's Dr. Mengele, the German
Yeah.
doctor that he works with.
Yeah.
Joel.
And then there's Kevin, a normal man.
Kevin's just out here to give exposition.
I realize that there's an ethnic charge to what I'm about to say, but this is We Have Sigyn at home.
Oh, so many of the characters we have are
We have
Sigyn
Emma
at home.
Emmerich at home.
We have Vamp at home. Okay?
We have Vamp at home.
We can't get into Jetstream Sam yet. Please.
So that's Raiden's crew. He's getting support from those people, though the most supported he ever is when Boris, aka Russian Guyevich, just like has 5 different rocket launchers he uses at one point. That is, if anyone ever supports me, I hope they support me like Boris. Brian is emptying the final part of the martini out of the.
Let me
We're
say
at
this.
40 minutes.
So there's a TikTok trend where it's like, what 2 clips look exactly the same? And I want to talk about how the clip of Russian Guyevich pulling his 3rd stinger out of a small AMC to fire in support of Raiden is exactly the same scene as in Blues Brothers when that lady pulls an RPG out of her extremely small 2-door sedan and fires it at the Blues Brothers. Okay? This is some comedy. This game sucks, but it knows camp and it is camp.
It does suck.
It must be said.
Yeah. So we've met Maverick PMC and we're meeting Desperado PMC. We meet 2 important characters first. We meet Dick Cheney, who is
I'm sorry, we meet who?
Wait, who's Dick Cheney?
we meet Sundowner.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
hey.
I knew this immediately because I'm brain poisoned.
Yeah.
But Sundowner is voiced
Sick.
by a man named Crispin Freeman. Crispin Freeman is a extremely prolific voice actor. He has done extremely iconic roles. Probably the biggest one I can think of right now is Winston from Overwatch. He also, to me, and this will surprise, okay, if you have listened to this podcast at all, this will surprise you 0%. His most iconic role to me is as Holland in Eureka 7. I don't understand what the direction was in this video game, but every time Sundowner speaks, I want to jump off a cliff. He is awful.
Well, here's the thing. His name is Sundowner, which for me brought to mind sundown towns, and he has a vague southern accent.
Yes,
So he
correct.
looks like Dick Cheney without glasses. So just picture Dick
Yeehaw.
Cheney in your mind and then apply that face
Hold on. You're leaving out a huge part of this, which is imagine if Dick
yeah,
Cheney
he's
was the
also
Terminator.
Cyborg Ninja. I'm so sorry.
Like I said.
Raiden wasn't just defeated by Dick Cheney. That happens later. But yeah, so we meet Sundowner. He is a bald, older white guy and a roided out, crazy cyborg ninja. But more importantly, we have Vamp at home, who is a man named Sam, who we later find out his name is Jetstream Sam. I don't know why, but anyway, he gives Raiden a smile in this opening scene so potent that I did immediately have war flashbacks to when you wipe off the mirror in Disco Elysium and find out what Harry Dubois looks like. This man is experiencing a crisis on the level of blacking out and forgetting you're a cop, but he's just a cyborg ninja. And yeah, so they have a fight. Sundowner graphically kills the man who would be, you know who he kills? He kills I want to get the name right. Patrice Lumumba. He kills Patrice Lumumba, okay? Because, there's a very specific figure that they are evoking here in terms of the Third World Movement and in terms of
Correct.
African leaders who want to better their society. So the guy's name is Namani in the game, but he is just Patrice Lumumba, and he is graphically executed on a train by a man named Sundowner.
This was almost potent, except for the fact that if you remember, one of the things that we talked about for our Metal Gear Solid 4 episode is how strong the first act is in doing this exact thing, where it talks about the industry of white people moving into ethnic countries, third world countries, and making money off of conflict. Yep. That was like one of the things that we felt Metal Gear Solid 4, at least for 45 minutes, was doing exceptionally well.
Very well.
So now we get to this and it's like, oh, this has like the worst of the Marvel movies syndrome, where it's like, you're just kind of playing with toys and I don't really know what to make of any of this that's happening.
But can I say, okay, a lot of this is not going to make a lot of sense. I will say, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, I do think this game has the most trenchant criticism of American imperialism. Unfortunately, it's in this game. And
unfortunately,
it's so funny to me.
And it unbalances it all on a monologue at the end, which I do agree is like exceptional. I was like, are we back?
I may just play the whole monologue because we're not doing a game this time. I may just put the whole monologue.
Wait, hold on. We have to do a game. We'll come up with something. I'll come up with something while we're recording.
We'll think about it. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, let me say this.
Yeah.
So you fight Jetstream Sam on this train at the end of this first garbage mission.
Sure do.
I love this part in Control.
At the end of this, who pulls up? This is the scene where Russian Guyevich has a million stingers in his car. He pulls up, and what does he say? But in a Russian accent, which I'm not going to attempt here on air, he says, "Kept you waiting, huh?" And I said,
"Kept you waiting, huh?"
And I said, I unfortunately have to pop for this, but I don't want to.
There's a lot of shit like that. Okay, I counted 3 Doctor Who references in this game. Like this game,
really?
Yes. The K9000.
Oh, the K9000, okay.
There's when K9000 when Raiden first gets his dog and it's aggressive to him, it says exterminate, and then there's one more. But like this game is just full of references, not just to the Metal Gear franchise, but to just whatever the fuck.
Can I say something about K9000 before I forget it?
Yeah.
Don't. Forget it.
So I don't know. I did a little extra research on this just as a little treat. And I watched some Let's
As a
Plays of the
treat.
DLC of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
There's DLC.
There's DLC. One of the DLCs, you play as Wolf, the cyborg dog. And at the end of that DLC, you find out that Mistral, the French wife that Alice
My wife.
hitherto mentioned, used to use an AI torture algorithm to force Wolf to shake with her, which
Yes!
brings a new influence to the scene where Wolf voluntarily decides to shake with Sunny.
Yeah, but like, is it voluntary or does Sunny just associate women with having to shake? Or not
I don't
Sunny?
know.
do that to Sunny.
I was very generous with that scene, but that's a different read that I think is
Yeah.
equally valid.
It's time for us to
Very
investigate. Here at OSG Podcast Towers, we are investigative reporters.
Anyway,
Imagine this is your first episode you listen to OSG, and we're just fucking going.
I'm going to
in
say this
on
right now at 48 minutes. If this is your first episode and you're
Welcome.
like, these guys are a disaster, I
Welcome.
promise you that we are normally much more disciplined than this. Not as disciplined as like anybody else really in the space, but like still more disciplined than this.
We're like normally like This American Life.
I don't know. Welcome to This American Life, where we're talking about Raiden running across a train to fight a man who loves 9/11 to save an African man who is a prime minister.
Alice,
I don't know what
I,
accent that was. It went 4 different places.
I don't mean to exclude Nico, but I need to have a dialogue with Alice for a
Yes,
second.
please.
Hey.
I'm gonna drink this sake.
I'm gonna
Okay.
keep drinking this ramen broth.
Hey, Alice, real quick. I need your thoughts on the fact that Jetstream Sam has a katana, and its sheath both has a trigger, a firing mechanism, and a magazine. I need to know what you think about this.
So
That's how he fires the
I've
pool.
thought about this a lot. Jetstream Sam's katana makes. So we have gun swords, right? They exist. We know what a gun sword is.
Famously, Olga Gerlukovich pulled
This
one of
isn't
these
about you,
motherfuckers.
Nico.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna go ahead and mute.
Hey,
Silencing women.
silencing women. I am so upset about Jetstream Sam's weapon out of everything in this. It makes no sense. He is doing things with this weapon that, like, okay, can you explain to me what the cartridges in this do? What happens when he fires a cartridge? Do you know, Brian?
So I think that the magazine, the clip, or the cartridge, whatever you want to call it,
You cannot
really
call
is
it a
the
clip. A clip is a very specific type of...
So it's a magazine.
It's a magazine.
Okay, so the magazine is really what throws this whole thing out, because as stupid as it already is, I can kind of buy the fact that you can quick draw your katana by firing it out of its sheath. I do not know
can't.
why you need ammo for this.
You don't. None of this makes sense. His weapon makes no
Nico,
sense.
unmute. I feel you're going to forget that you're muted.
I am unmuting. I will say the only explanation I could have for it needing cartridges is if it's propelling itself out of the sheath using an explosion like a gunshot. That's the only reason you would need a cartridge, I guess.
But he never draws it that fast. There's no explosion.
One
for it.
time.
It
Just
makes
he
no
does
sense.
it
is
once
once.
to riding on the train.
It's once on the train when he cuts Raiden's arms off. That's the only time that he ever uses it.
But it doesn't seem like it needs a cartridge or a magazine. He is so over the top.
This is the death knell. This is the death knell for me of what they're doing with Raiden in this game. Because you know what?
This is it?
No, so here, I'm going to give you the thesis and you're going to be convinced, I swear to God. Watch,
Okay.
watch this.
We are
You ready?
debating.
Sure.
We are not
We're
only
debating.
here at OSG Towers, we are not just investigative journalists, we are also academics and scholars.
OSG Towers. Continue.
3 strikes. Strike 1. They are cowards. Raiden inexplicably has red blood all of a sudden. If you
Yeah.
didn't get that comeback flash from
blood.
Metal Gear Solid
Oh
Oh my
4,
god, you're
blood.
so right. He doesn't come anymore.
he doesn't come anymore.
Hey, isolate that. Isolate, he doesn't
come
come
anymore.
anymore.
Strike 2. Raiden admittedly gets absolutely butchered 9 times in Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. However, each time he either has to spend an entire chapter out of commission so he can get cum dialysis, or you have to get him new arms or new body parts or new legs, or strike 3, he just goes into battle without the limbs.
Yeah.
At no
Legendarily.
point do any of Raiden's actions or mistakes or failures have any consequences whatsoever. He is back in the next 5 minutes of gameplay footage.
Well, Brian, what you forget is that since the time of Guns of the Patriots, everyone became a cyborg ninja, and he could just do the bit from BioShock where you harvest the little sister to every man on Earth with no consequences until Jetstream Sam tries to give him PTSD.
Cum dialysis.
That wasn't even the best part of Brian's whole thesis statement, but
that's all I focused on. I was trying to make a joke about I love cum dialysis, but I could not do it.
Alice needs a cum transfusion, etc.
Just know that going forward, Raiden will suffer things like falling from 30,000 feet out of a helicopter, jumping down a skyscraper elevator shaft with absolutely none of this has any consequences whatsoever. He will just get up.
Brian, I keep forgetting. Now he has Dr. Mengele, so it's fine.
Hey, we're a mecha podcast. I want to talk about when he fights Metal Gear Ray.
Oh,
okay,
fuck,
let's
that's
go.
right. I almost skipped over it. Yeah, so an autonomous
we can't skip
Metal
over
Gear
this.
Ray.
We're a mecha podcast. Metal Gear Ray.
We have to respect
still
my
exists.
woman. We have to respect my woman on this
Metal
show.
Gear Ray shows up, and this is one of my favorite mecha fights in the Metal Gear franchise. Holy shit. It is one man, Raiden, fighting Metal Gear Ray. And Metal Gear Ray is the Metal Gear Ray we know. But also, he has a chain sword in his arm now? What are we doing, Metal Gear Ray?
First of all, Metal Gear Ray is a woman, as we all know. Second of all,
I'm sorry, Metal Gear Ray.
good for her.
Second of all,
yeah, they did her so dirty.
I feel like what happened here was strange because if you're gonna have the Metal Gear Ray cameo, it needs to come in at the very end. That needs to really be that's basic storytelling 101 to me. The
Or
other
for
thing
me,
is,
they could have had her in the beginning to foreshadow that larger forces were at work, and then she only comes in when Armstrong makes his move.
Do you
Right.
think there was storytelling in this game?
I think
Maybe a
there
little
was
bit.
storytelling in the last 45 minutes.
Now, the other thing is, we talked about in the Metal Gear Solid 2 episode, how intensely threatening and grueling the fight against all the Metal Gear Rays was in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yes.
This is a Final Fantasy 16 interactive cutscene where nothing Metal Gear Ray does has any weight whatsoever. You are just gonna cut whatever it's happening is off with the stupid 6-axis controls.
But the jumping on the missiles, the stopping the chainsword with your own katana. I feel like if we're talking about mecha scale and mechas being cool, I love a person-sized entity fighting a skyscraper-sized mech. And I feel like this hits so well, even if it makes absolutely zero sense in the context of what we know about Metal Gear Ray.
A thought I kept having as I watched the cutscenes for this was, I'm so glad that I didn't experience this when I was 12 because it would have rewired my brain chemistry. The whole thing with this game is rule of cool. Raiden has to be cool as fuck. There's a loud-ass soundtrack blaring at you the whole time you do any kind of fight. You can single-handedly take on a mech with a katana. Everything is rule of cool, so nothing can be as cool as Raiden, which unfortunately does a disservice to Ray.
This soundtrack is so cringe.
What?
This soundtrack.
I'm gonna make a mod.
This soundtrack is the worst soundtrack in any video game ever made.
Every time you do a battle, I'm gonna substitute the track from Fort Minor, remember the name, into the soundtrack. And it's gonna be like that guy who had the mod that every time he got into combat in Oblivion, it played that R. Kelly song.
Alice, I need to know, you seem to disagree with me very vehemently.
I'm so disagreeing. Every single boss fight music in this is the most chuny bullshit, fuck yeah music that has ever dropped ever. I have been listening to the soundtrack since we prepared for this recording in perpetuity. It hits every time.
I find early 2010 Screamo incredibly cringe and unbearable to listen to.
Good.
So I just can't agree here.
You're wrong.
And like,
it's so fucking good.
There's sometimes on OSG where we reach an impasse, we just have to say, you know what? We think different things about this and move on. This is not one of those times. Alice is wrong. I'm just kidding.
Hey, listeners. Pull up any of these fucking you know that Beethoven playing a on flame piano shit? That is what this music is. It is ripping.
All I have to say is if I had watched this when I was 12 instead of Infinite Sasunaru AMVs, I would have come out really different.
Oh, this is AMV music. I want to be very clear.
It is 100% AMV music, and it's happening to Raiden at all times.
Raiden and Jetstream Sam are just Sasunaru at home anyway.
Yeah. What if they had gotten married instead of divorcing in the most painful way possible for their dog?
I'm so stunned, shocked by this comment. This is, guys, this might be our most
doctrine.
This might be our most unhinged bonus tipsy record we've ever done. But I just need you to know I love everyone in this entire game.
I know. All I could think while I was leaning on my table. Oh, you care about things in the game. All I could think while I was leaning on this table in tears was that I love my friends so much. Okay, I don't remember what happens next other than Raiden gets a dog.
Hey, what the fuck is this? Brian, what the fuck is this weird side plot?
So we go to Mexico, is what happens.
God. I missed it. I got things out of order.
I'm drinking tequila today in honor of Raiden's heritage.
And in response to that, I'm gonna say, as a multiracial Hispanic person living in Denver, I feel like this game like really kind of, you know that scene in Annihilation where at the end the alien is like pressing her against the door. This game was doing that to me, but just like with weird inadvertent cultural like microaggressions. I like don't know. I couldn't breathe. I don't know what was going on during this chapter.
Hey, this dog is fucked up. This dog is fucked up, and I hate it.
They've mounted an AI, an actual artificial general intelligence in the crying wolf frame, and then given it a chainsaw. Is what I remember about what happened here.
That's pretty much what happens.
I mean, that's it. We really don't need to get into the wolf section because it's
we do because there's another
robot.
There's another secondary character that's introduced here, and I have to talk about Jar Jar Binks' kid. So the man that voices George, his name is Sean T. Krishnan. He is okay. Let me get.
Tell me about it.
I have to. Okay.
I need you to get into this.
So you can. I would love emails on this. If you can find information on this, please let me know. I looked this man up. I tried to find him on IMDb. I tried to find him on Wikipedia. He's like in places. As far as I know, he is a man of color. From what I can tell, he has like maybe an Indian immigrant family. He's maybe third generation. But ultimately, I just gotta say it. This dude is from Toronto, and he's voicing someone with a Guyanan Creole accent. And I don't know what to tell you. I really tried with this, you guys. I looked up people speaking this accent. This is a real accent. It's not like, I wouldn't say it's like a 100% inaccurate, but this is Jar Jar Binks' kid. And I mean that.
The problem with people speaking patois is that, like, I don't feel like we've yet encountered the Western media that can handle that with any kind of respect.
Right.
And, like, this was definitely not the Western media to tackle that, not the least of which, you know what got me? 2 sets of subtitles.
Like, as if it wasn't fucking obvious if you just use your brain.
Translation.
Like... Okay, and I mean, I might have needed subtitles when he said, "Ooh, cyborg ninja, cowabunga, go ninja, go ninja." I may have needed subtitles for that.
Go ninja, go ninja, go.
Get out of here!
A ninja, cowabunga, go ninja, go ninja, go! Go ninja, go ninja, go. Go ninja, go ninja, go. Go ninja, go ninja, go. Go, go, go.
Anyway, Raiden has gone to Guadalajara because they've gotten a tip on a company that is leaking chemicals into the sewer systems of Guadalajara. But what he uncovers is, in fact, a child trafficking scheme. Now, children are very close to Raiden's heart, as he was once a child himself.
Slow down. What is Raiden wearing?
Jesus God. Okay,
What is Raiden wearing?
Raiden doesn't drive in Guadalajara. Raiden swags up.
So
Sorry, that was
What
an
is
evil
it?
sentence I said.
He swags up.
he swags up. He's wearing a serape. He's wearing a sombrero.
A serape, and a sombrero, and his dog is in the back seat. And he said, "Don't worry, I'm gonna blend." And to be fair, the NPCs that react to Raiden's existence are 100% correct and written as if from life.
Yes.
I too would be like, what the fuck
These
is
two
this?
motherfuckers are the most believable characters in the entire video game because they see this white man wearing a serape and a sombrero come out of this convertible, take his robot dog out of the convertible, and this dog is crying wolf, by the way. If you've played Metal Gear Solid 4, if you've seen Metal Gear
100%
Solid
just
4, it's crying wolf as a dog jumping out of a convertible, which proceeds to Tesla style drive itself away while
That's funny because Tesla does not have this technology. Only Raiden does.
Raiden then proceeds to climb into the sewers. Again, this is all with the pretext that we are supposed to be blending in. There are several moments in this game where the NPCs will yell at you for causing too much attention or for breaking stealth. Excuse me, is this not Devil May Cry but Metal Gear? Why the fuck do you expect me to have a stealth mission? Why the fuck? I hate this game.
For the dramatic irony, Brian, it's a narrative device. There's literary action happening in this story, and never is it more literary than when Raiden climbs into the sewer and respectfully takes off his sombrero so he doesn't get sewer on it and says, "Adios, amigos." Anyway, he climbs in the sewer and he meets the most ethnic child on Earth. And the child's name, of course, is George Washington.
Yep.
And this leads Raiden.
Okay.
Anyway, Raiden gets a dog. So Raiden discovers this dog.
It's also a hyper advanced AI that knows about memes. Have we said memes in this record
no,
yet?
Yes.
we don't yet.
No, we have.
Get to. Oh, we have, but we're not
Thank
getting to the guy
God.
who says memes yet. Okay. Anyway,
No.
he goes in the sewer. He discovers the child trafficking. And he says, "Fuck them other kids," and lets a bunch of kids die to save George after Georgetown.
Hey, we skipped French Woman.
Oh fuck!
No, we
we
didn't.
did. I got it out of order.
Oh,
Isn't
did
she
we?
Before that?
She
She's befo-
is. So real quick,
Hey.
let me let Alice talk about French Woman. I will say this is the best fight in the game. She's like incredibly cool somehow. And I love I use the weapon you get from this from when I got it to the end. Like, this shit rules. This is the peak.
Wait, you use this weapon for the rest of the game?
Oh yeah. So, Alice, tell me about our French wife. What is the weapon that she uses? Please tell me in detail
Hello.
how she gets this weapon.
My wife, Mistral.
Yeah.
So,
Everyone's named after
God,
wind.
okay, can we just give it like a top overview? All of the bosses in this Metal Gear game are clumsy repeats of the bosses from Metal Gear Solid 4. They are trying so hard to capture that because it was made in 18 months. It is like reusing assets. So
Yeah.
Mistral, she grew up in Algeria when there was a civil war. She is French. She is French
She's
Algerian.
partially French Algerian. Yeah. Brian's doing T. What's up?
Yeah.
This is what we need to know about Mistral.
Tell
The
me.
first time we see Mistral, Raiden is looking at her through his binoculars from like 10,000 feet away. She turns, blows him a kiss, and he deflects it with his katana. And then he radios Russian Guyevich and says, "I just dodged a bullet." That's
Yeah.
it.
She literally
That's
is
it.
leaning on a rail blows a kiss, and he full on, I must defend myself from women with a katana blade.
The most incel shit you can literally imagine.
This is why at this point I assume Rose is a hallucinated lie.
So her superpower, quote unquote, is she uses the 3-hand mechs from 4. What do you call those guys?
Geckos.
Yeah. And they attach to her so she has multiple arms looking like a mirage.
I regret to say this whips. I regret to say this looks incredibly fucking cool.
Whips.
This is so
hard.
cool. She, to be clear, to like get into detail, she forcibly rips the little gross latex arms off of the dwarf geckos and plugs them into her suit.
And so she ends up with 5,000 arms. At first I was like, oh, they're doing a Black Widow thing. No, she puts on about 5,000 of these motherfuckers. She looks like a deva. It's like insane.
And then,
yeah.
And then she makes them hold hands and links like 10 of them together and makes a spear. And that is her weapon, and that is the weapon you get from her. It's just a bunch of hands holding into a spear. It is the only cool thing that has ever happened in video games.
It is kind of
so
Ava-pilled. This is like the spear of Longinus if it was made of like the creepy grasping things. Like, oh, it is incredibly cool. Hey, real quick, I have a very important fact.
Yeah.
The gentleman who voices Blade Wolf was also in The Lorax and Despicable Me. Anyway, continue.
Guys, Minions are funny. We can all agree Minions are funny, right?
Alice
Absolutely
has gotten
not.
black-pilled by the election.
So this whole fight is great. You're in an oil refinery. You're running across pipes. It is very... So can we just admit, the fights in this really slap in a, like, exactly what it is doing. It hits.
Only this one. This is the only one.
What?
Yeah. Every other
Not
fight
like
is so
Monsoon.
unbelievably undoable and frustrating and like fucking clumsy. The camera jerks. Sometimes the camera will fully do a 180 on you and you literally can only see Raiden and your enemy is just off camera somewhere. Like, it's so unplayable. Why do people like this fucking video game?
Shout out to my neighbor for vacuuming right now at 10 a.m. on a Sunday. Mistral's great. She's the only female in this entire fucking game besides Big Boobs Mick, whatever her face is. Who's the bitch?
Besides Kinsey Kensington?
I love her. And my wife returns. Hey, we'll get to Sunny. They did.
Ma'am,
her dirty.
hey, hold on.
Hey.
I'm just going to say to the listeners, Alice is drunk. She meant daughter. She did not mean wife. That is, I just have to say this right now. She meant daughter.
My daughter's Sunny. Thank you. My daughter's Sunny. Mistral's fight is just really good in a way that the other fights in this game just feel so frustrating.
Well, you can tell, for me, like, based on where this is in the game, it seems like that was probably an early development fight. And so for me, there's a little bit of a bittersweetness where it's like, I bet you wanted to do more fights like this, but unfortunately, the time pressure.
So
anyway,
you fight this bitch. There's a guy who kills himself with an explosion. Who cares? But we learn some deep lore about Sundowner and the Colorado senator.
Wait, is he the Colorado senator?
He's
or the
Colorado.
California
He's
senator?
from Colorado. He's from Colorado.
Okay.
He's a Colorado
Armstrong
senator.
is from Colorado, yeah.
Okay.
When we were going to go cover this, I fucking died. I forgot this was Colorado.
I'm just saying, Governor John Hickenlooper would never.
He wouldn't because he doesn't have the ball sack. Anyway.
Colorado beef.
Colorado beef. Hey.
Hey. Hey.
Are you good?
Hey.
I don't know what to do when this game says we're going to Denver.
Raiden quits his job and rapidly approaches Brian's location.
Okay. I was wilded by this when I first played it. I'm still wilded by it. Like, of all of the places in America to circle in on, Denver, Colorado.
Apparently specifically so they could reference the disused network of train tunnels.
Which, if there are Denver listeners, like, let me know. And more on, and my understanding of Denver as like a historical, like, public transit system is Denver has these are facts. Denver has a rail line system, like an above ground train system for public transportation.
Sometimes called an L.
And my understanding is that they did that because the ground is too dense in Denver for us to build underground transportation infrastructure. So I don't know that this is actually anything. And also, like I mentioned before, this place looks so. Raiden drives by like one street sign that says Colfax Avenue. Colfax Avenue is considered like the main street in Denver in a lot of ways. Yeah. But that's the only time anything is actually ever like anything close to what Denver is supposed to look like or be or like feel like. This could literally be any city on Earth.
Hey, Nico, what did you just lift up to the camera?
The empty Ripper bottle of sake, and we are on to bottle 2.
Hey.
Anyway,
hey,
I just want to say,
tell me about it.
I just lost my thought. No. Okay, when they remastered this game, inevitably, because Metal Gear Delta makes them $1 million, and they're like, you know what, our next project needs to be.
Brian's face right now is the most
grimace.
Painful grimace I've ever seen.
When they remaster.
I buy this, honestly, for Konami, but imagine Konami not remaking 2 before they remade fucking this game.
You need to remake this one because of the DualSense control. They have to make the game once again about proprietary Sony software or hardware, rather.
Jesus Christ!
They make a Raiden Cyborg Ninja Blade controller that's only for this game.
Oh, but at the end you have to switch to the Sam Cyborg Ninja peripheral, which does have.
Which does cost $199.99, and you do have to buy it separately in order to complete the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe this. I'm just saying, when they remastered this game and redo it and make it look like it's happening in your home, I am petitioning for Brian to play an NPC who is conspicuously present on Colfax.
Okay. Hey, we really need to get to one of my favorite parts of this game, which is Colorado Highway Patrol.
Yeah, Raiden experiences a normal American traffic stop. Complete with use of deadly force.
So an important note here is that Denver police, and they say this very specifically, I guess this is not the case for other cities, Denver police have been privatized.
Wait, is that real? Like in real life?
No. In the game, Denver police have been privatized.
Yeah, they're privatized.
And that is
in real life, they're privatizing police in the UK. That's what you need to know.
And I will say this is a fun little excuse for us to be able to, like I mentioned earlier, kill thousands of cops in downtown Denver. That is like one of the rare W's this game has, is there are so many dead cops.
It is 100%. And they all, okay. This begins the funniest sequence in this game for me, which is hard to determine because there are so many beautiful banger sequences in this game.
Beautiful.
Raiden is killing cops left, right, and center. You know what? We stand. Direct action. But he gets to a place and Jetstream Sam starts talking to him about coercive military service and NPC enemies having personhood. Alice, was it Crackdown 3 that kind of sorted this shit out for the genre forever? Anyway, so Sam starts trying to teach Raiden that cops have souls, which, debatable. But unfortunately, what he unlocks in Raiden... Hi, Miku! Unfortunately, what he unlocks in Raiden is the fucking Shining, and Raiden begins to be able to access the deep inner thoughts of cops, which causes him so much emotional harm that he can't walk right for a while. But don't worry about it.
For a little while with this game, we were dancing around some of the the world building and lore consequences and implications of the events of the ending of Metal Gear Solid 4. Because, again, as we mentioned, this game takes place after Metal Gear Solid 4.
3 years.
So,
3 years after the end of Metal Gear Solid 4.
In this moment, not only are we reintroduced the idea that actually everybody still has nanomachines and actually they still 100% work. Not only do we establish that, so like fuck anything Naomi Hunter did at all.
Yeah,
ever.
There's pain inhibitors, there's emotional inhibitors. That all.
Not only that, but like if if Jetstream Sam tells you to,
Sam.
you can listen to the thoughts of the nanomachines inhibiting the... This is the dumbest, ham-fisted fucking shit I've ever heard. What are you talking about? This entire sequence as you're stumbling around being traumatized by the sudden revelation that enemy soldiers actually have motivations and wants and desires and families. How long are we going to keep pretending that Raiden is some sort of puppy who has no understanding of the fucking world? Did we not see him grow up in Metal Gear Solid 4? Did we not see any of that? Was that all meaningless?
It was a hallucination, and we're about to head to the most important thing in the world. So we head to our second boss fight, which is with Monsoon. Monsoon's whole thing is that magnets, how do they work?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, I get it. The internet and people who like this game, memes. Can we just say memes? That's it. I
Memes.
get it.
Memes.
I get it, guys.
Monsoon makes a speech that I will simply insert into this episode because why not? Because why not? There's only like 3 hours of content
I'll
in
read
this
the
entire game.
thing.
I might as well put it. Okay, Alice, please read us the entire monologue from Monsoon from Metal Gear Rising Revengeance 2013.
You aren't the only one to grow up on the killing fields. War is a cruel parent, but an effective teacher. I can't. I'm too drunk.
Yes, you aren't the only one to grow up on the killing fields. War is a cruel parent, but an effective teacher. Its final lesson is carved deep in my psyche. That this world and all its people are diseased. Free will is a myth. Religion is a joke. It's controlled by something greater. Memes. The DNA of the soul. They should not live. They are the culture. They are everything we pass on. Expose someone to anger long enough, they learn to hate. They become a carrier. Envy, greed, despair.
Yeah, you're too drunk and you're kneading your cat's head like it's made of slime. I was just washing your hands.
Look at her. She loves
Look.
the rubby rub.
All I'll say is that Metal Gear Solid as a franchise, starting with Metal Gear Solid 2, has had the unfortunate thing that it's run up to, which is that memes used to be sociological terms.
Yeah.
And during Metal Gear Solid 2, when they talk about memes, that is actually more of the time that is actually they're talking about the academic thing. Now that it's 2013 and this motherfucker is in the Mile High City saying memes are the DNA of the soul, it just isn't gonna land the same.
You can't forgive anything. You can't forgive anything. And I think it is the cumulative psychic damage of this speech, which I have inserted into our episode, which does, the note I have here is that the Monsoon fight maximizes the Kojima recipe of mentioning international conflicts, doing bullshit philosophy about it, and then guides being dudes at incomprehensible speeds. Like, okay, here's my thing. If I'm Kojima and I'm already upset with Konami, if this game came out, this is a little bit like the roast of Hideo Kojima. This game is just doing Kojima harder than Kojima ever could, and to such an extreme, to such a camp extreme, that I legitimately think if you built your life on Metal Gear, on making those games, and then you watched or played this game, you could not stay at Konami. Like,
Yeah.
I understand if this was the breaking point, because there is satirization happening here, which I believe is meant to be homage, and it is just satire.
Yeah.
Anyway, this all causes Raiden to have a psychological backslide and a little minty bee.
He has a minty bee. This is the one thing I will give as a W is has as an interesting thing in this scene, which is that so Raiden has a mentee bee, and like the idea is that he like has like a kind of, it is both a regression and an advancement in the sense that like he realizes that actually he does want to kill people. Actually he has.
Yes.
Actually, it's incredibly difficult, and you can't just decide to be done with the condition of your upbringing. The other thing that I think is really interesting is that he has the same delusion that Gray Fox did about having a synthetic body. He literally says, pain is the reason I keep going. And it's been memeified, but one of the things Gray Fox says to Snake in Metal Gear Solid 1 is, I need you to hurt me. I need to feel something. And I think that is an incredibly potent thing for Raiden to feel after years of having this synthetic body. I don't know if it was intentional, but I really loved that connection. And I think that Monsoon looks incredibly cool. I think he is one of the worst boss fights in video game history. But I think he is just like, he has like a segmented body that he can control all the little parts of independently with magnets.
How do they work?
Magnets, how do they work?
Magnets, how do they work? It's so freaky, but I really love Raiden's, like, the echoing of the guy you said, Gray Fox.
Well, and like the funny thing for me,
the
funny thing for me is Gray Fox is actually a costume you can unlock, like an aesthetic callback you can unlock.
Yes. Yeah.
You can play through the whole.
About the costumes, do you get Bald Raiden in this one? Do we finally get Bald Raiden?
No, because you made Bald Raiden and you didn't submit it in time.
No, but Bald Raiden, I ended up cutting it from the episode. Bald Raiden was a Kojima idea. He wanted there to be a part where Raiden's hair can get burned off and you have to get wigs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bald Raiden was a
They have
original.
So for costumes they have Gray Fox, which is what I played with through most of the game because I just think that is an incredibly iconic look. And then you have Sombrero Raiden. And then you have.
Oh my god, you can play the whole game as Sombrero.
Yeah.
Yes,
and then
you
just
can.
And then you just have a bunch of different colors of his normal suit. That's it, pretty much. So
I'm really sad we don't have Bald Raiden, but anyway. So they have this fight, and then Raiden infiltrates the facility. So you remember when there was the child experimentation, yada yada shit happening. So Raiden comes to find out in this skyscraper that they have been extracting the brains and brain stems of children and then putting them in VR. They're making brainstem child soldiers, okay?
Yes.
And Sundowner is there and insists that they need to make 1 million brainstem child soldiers to do war hard as hell forever, which is his favorite thing in the world. But before you get to Sundowner, you have to do the Mistral fight and the Monsoon fight again, which is the most baffling, we didn't have time to make a video game move.
You were literally going up and redoing all of the boss fights you did.
Yep.
What the fuck?
We didn't have enough time to make game.
Exactly. So not only did you fight fucking Monsoon 5 minutes ago and you have to do it again, you have to fight Mistral again as well. This was when I knew this was one of the worst video games I've ever played. I have never been angrier at a video game before.
This is I was watching it and I was like, what are you doing? Like, you can't just repeat. Like, and especially the Monsoon
Alice
fight
just
was
left.
especially outrageous. Yeah, Alice has left us. I'm just continuing with the episode, okay? It's particularly egregious because you just did the Monsoon fight.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be one thing to retread Mistral, I guess, even though it wasn't that long ago because this is not a long game. But this is a hot
a
mess.
game of this size, any retreading is pretty inexcusable.
Yeah.
But then, we get the 9/11 line. I do want Alice to come back so that she can talk about the 9/11 line.
Yeah. It's so important. The child soldier VR brainstem thing is so wild that I'm just like, I don't even know what to do with it. There's so many of them.
How Sundowner is handling them is so alarming to me.
He just pulls it out like a little fish and lets
and it's
it
like
flop
wiggling,
around.
yeah.
Hello.
What?
Are you back?
You just left.
You just left.
Wait, is that a problem?
I mean,
I thought you guys
kinda?
were talking about Metal Gear Rising. Sorry, my drink was empty.
I want you to talk about Sundowner's 9/11 speech in this skyscraper.
Which I will
I'm
insert
going to
this
read
entirety.
this verbatim.
Okay.
In a southern accent. Did you think every battle in history was all part of some big old conspiracy? Bullshit! War is just part of who we are. Why fight it? Anyway, none of this will matter in 3 hours. Demand for PMCs is about to skyrocket, like the good old days after 9/11. Hey, 9/11 was the greatest thing that ever happened to America. In this essay by Sundowner. Okay, Sundowner is the worst villain ever written in Metal Gear Solid history. He literally exists to be like, war is the greatest thing that has ever happened to anyone ever. So from the beginning, when he kills generic African country prime minister to now, all he ever talks about is how war is the greatest thing that has ever happened. And why doesn't anybody ever sing the praises of war? They sing the praises of peace, but war does good things.
He says the phrase which I'm obsessed with, which is give war a chance.
Give war a chance. Sundowner, like I said, kids are cruel, Jack, and I'm very in touch with my inner child.
However,
iconic sentence.
However, to talk about how we are so on the it's so over, we are so back scale. Yeah. Sundowner does have an incredibly cool, like, weird double machete scissor mechanism in his wrist that allows him to, like, cut through. It looks really awesome, and I think that it has a more utilitarian, like, use than Sundowner's stupid trigger. So I just think
Jetstream Sam. You mean Jetstream Sam?
Wait, what did I say?
You said Sundowner again.
Oh
Jetstream
shit!
Sam.
Sorry. Jetstream Sam. No.
Every time you say that.
Out of the, so like obviously this game is Metal Gear and it has to have the 4 freaks. Out of the 4 freaks, I do think Sundowner has some of the coolest weapons. So
what are our 4 freaks, Nico?
Our 4 freaks are Mistral, Monsoon, Sundowner, and Jetstream Sam.
And they are a part of what group?
Desperado PMC. What are we doing here? Also the Winds of Misfortune, I guess. Or the Winds of
fucking invincible.
This game, I started to say earlier and then I dropped it. Pervert comparison time. Which gang of perverts is your favorite gang of perverts from the Metal Gear franchise?
Oh, you can't do this to me.
No,
do you have an immediate thoughts?
We have Metal Gear 1, which is the OG Foxhound team. Those perverts. Decoy Octopus, everyone's favorite, Revolver Ocelot, all that. Then we have Metal Gear 2, which has the Fear Squadron.
Cobra Unit. It's Cobra Unit.
Yeah, it's Cobra. Wait, in 2?
2 is Cobra. Or no, sorry. 2 is
2
what?
2 is Fortune and the Mad Bomber.
No, Sons of the Patriots. Sorry. Sons of the Patriots.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I will say right now, those are my favorite.
Dead Cell.
Dead Cell is my favorite. 100%.
Yeah, I think Dead Cell is also my favorite because of the sheer cleaning out that happens between Fortune and Vamp. Yeah. And also it is the origin of Vamp, which is the most important character in the history of literature.
Yeah.
I think we're going to introduce him to the Italian thing, not Cinema Verite. Oh, the sake is hitting. What's the Italian thing with the clown? Italian
Pagalucci?
Yeah, but he's part of characters.
Oh, anyway,
y'all,
thanks for
I'm fighting
asking.
for Commedia dell'arte
of the clown groups is the BB Squadron, obviously.
Of course,
people who listen to me understand I'm problematic, and it's the BB Squad.
Yeah, the BB Squad that did me so much damage. I ended up with the sentence.
From a narrative perspective, it's number 1. It's Foxhound for me.
Speaking of comparisons, so after this we get the scene where Raiden is escaping with Doctor on a helicopter.
Yeah, Dr. Mengele has gotten custody of all the brains. Just don't even worry about it.
Have we talked about this German fuck before?
He's Dr. Mengele. I've said that multiple times. I think that conveys everything we need.
I hate him.
He's annoying.
Rip the spines out of them. I have so much more like 5 head, am I right? He has more forehead. He has so much forehead, he has a 5 head. Am I right?
He's bald.
He's bald. He's trying to do Otacon shit where he's like dodging missiles in a helicopter. Everyone knows Otacon's better. And loses Raiden. Raiden falls straight back down into Denver.
But don't worry. Raiden finds a chopper and hits the American open roads to rendezvous with an orbital flight so they can get to Pakistan to prevent 9/11 too.
But first,
which is
who
a
does he have to
sentence that
fight?
No, Alice. This is a sentence that I wrote that after I hit enter key and dropped to the next bullet point in my Google document, I had to sit for 3 minutes with my head in my hands. Okay?
What happened?
I would like a moment of silence
Why do you have to...
for the sentence, Raiden hands off the brains to Dr. Mingala and hits the open American roads on a chopper to rendezvous with an orbital flight to Pakistan to prevent 9/11 ... 2 exclamation point. I had to write
what
that.
happens on his way to stop 9/11 ... 2?
The worst
He fights a
divorce of all
custody
time.
battle. Yeah, he fights a custody battle for a dog.
Hey, how do you all feel about Vamp showing back up again?
I despise this man.
We have Vamp at home. This is Jetstream Sam. Here's the thing. If Raiden had met Jetstream Sam at a gay bar 2 years before the events of this game, America would be fine. I'm just going to say it so it's said. Jetstream Sam is not a character who matters or is any good. Unfortunately, there's more chemistry between Jetstream Sam and Raiden than there ever was between Rose and Raiden.
Jetstream Sam is the worst man of all time, and also he's the only one who could have saved Raiden from his toxic heteronormative relationship.
Yes,
Hey.
and they could have had a dog together.
Hey, I know we've brought it up a few times, multiple times in this game. Does Raiden reference the fact that he has a wife and child living in Japan while he is doing all of this?
I didn't know they were in Japan, but as we all know, Japan is the safest nation on Earth.
But I just love that, like, he's doing all this shit while... Oh, yeah, I have a wife and a child over there. So...
It feels like this
Fuck
wants
Sam.
me to believe that it's so climactic and tense with this rivalry, but this Jetstream's...
Well, it's in, like, this, like...
Jetstream Sam.
Southwest America. They are meeting in the
It's
desert.
fucking garbage. This man has
Two
no
string
juice.
guitar.
This fight sucks so bad.
Yeah, they try to do a Western standoff here, and it's just bad. I imagine this scene hits different if you are wearing the Raiden sombrero skin when they do the square off. I imagine that has a different energy.
And now
time.
we have to talk about the third and final W of this game, which is letting me see my beautiful daughter once again.
Yeah,
I love her.
We were on the road for a reason.
my
We
daughter.
were headed to Sunny. His orbital flight is courtesy of Sunny, who is now a teenage tech prodigy who owns this company, I guess, the Solus company that does a
She's head
suborbital flight.
engineer
Yeah.
for Solus. Sunny
And
has
she makes a coup
really
attempt on the divorce dog, which, as we've discussed earlier, has some interesting valences vis-a-vis
Yeah.
the DLC about the divorce dog.
There's also a really, really fucked up, like, fucking... Alice, what's the term for this man? Is it just hentai who's guarding the gate?
Etchy?
He's otaku hentai. Otaku. He is a fuck, what's the name for the
I think
Patreon?
Raiden should have killed him because he's too close to Sunny with that shit.
He is.
Yeah.
He's guarding the gate, lets the dog and Raiden in. Hey, my daughter Sunny is thriving, and that is what gets me through this game. She is a head rocket engineer for this company.
I love this for her.
dead.
I need
She
to be...
has-
I
yes.
need to be an adult engineering peon answering to a 12-year-old.
Yeah, I think that would fix me.
She's lost her stutter. We need to be very clear. She's lost her stutter. No longer cooking eggs. Too
Thank
busy
God.
cooking rocket fuel.
Volatile liquid rocket fuel. Do you ever graduate from eggs to volatile liquid rocket fuel?
We are all trying to do this.
But this is such a cute little vignette. It
Yeah.
is what makes this game like something I actually care about in the Metal Gear franchise. But what is she here to set up?
What if Raiden... Sorry, hear me out.
I'm ready.
The sake is hitting. I've started the second bottle. What if
You don't
Raiden...
have to. You're better than this.
What if Raiden had gotten with Jetstream Sam and had a dog and been gay uncles to Sunny? Like, do you ever dream of a better future?
I dream of a better future and a better past. Now we have to talk about how the entire orbital launch basically happens off screen, and we just basically resume gameplay in the shuddering wreckage of the stupid drone that launched you.
We have this whole build up to we have to go to Mach 26 to get over there, and we fade back in to Raiden outside of the wrecked crash of the re-entry
Have we even
vehicle.
explained why we're going to Pakistan? Like, they're trying to do 9/11 too, but what that entails is that the U.S. president is on a diplomatic trip to meet with the prime minister of Pakistan. And so the winds of misfortune or whatever the fuck are headed over there to do 9/11 too, specifically because it will start another war in the Middle East. And the phrase
9/11-2.
The phrase, it's just like WMDs in Iraq, gets dropped in this game in such a way. Okay. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But I once asked, I believe in a way that was cut from the episode, what Metal Gear Solid would have looked like if Kojima had read Naomi Klein's Shock Doctrine instead of just watching 80s action movies. And now I know. Which is a fucked up thing to say about Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. But from this point forward,
as it turns out,
politics
contextless academia can't save you because this is the worst shit I've ever seen.
It is the worst shit on earth, and yet every statement made about America from this point in the game forward is simply correct.
Yeah.
It's fucked. The only thing they didn't do is specifically name drop the Chicago School of Economics. That's
It's
the only thing they didn't do.
Fucked up how this is 100% real and 100% accurate, and also like this game proves that we're living in a timeline where real things are happening with real consequences, and yet if this happened in a video game, I would and did and have and am calling it the worst video game ever made. Like,
we live in the worst video game ever made.
We
and
live in
have
the worst
no
video
Raiden.
game ever made.
We have no Raiden. We have no Raiden. There is no Raiden. That is the problem here.
Alice, you have to become Raiden.
Alice, you have to become
Can
Raiden.
I become Raiden? He has the hottest high heels that I've
I
ever
know!
seen.
He is serving it nonstop. Anyway, the flight,
Serving
Sonny gets him set up on
constantly.
Sonny gets him set up on this flight. The flight happens off screen. He climbs out of the wreckage.
Sonny
He's in
is
Pakistan.
wearing a striped tank top exactly like her mom, Olga.
Oh, yeah.
I did cry. That's it.
Do you ever
I'm done
think
with my
about...
Sonny minute.
She also still has the flower in her hair.
She still has the flower from Dr. Naomi Hunter, which I assume means she has, like, preserved it with nanomachines. Anyway.
In a world where resin
website
doesn't exist.
Yeah. The website doesthedogdie.com entry on this game unfortunately starts to look like a yes right here as Raiden gets deep into Pakistan, intercepts Senator Armstrong, who then raises a giant spider mech from the ground.
Okay.
And finally, this is a mech podcast again.
Brian.
Oh, I was just going to ask, what do we think about Metal Gear Excelsis?
Okay, before that, I will never get over how Japanese game companies and developers have this vision of America. A Colorado senator. That's it. I'm
Unfortunately, as we've seen, anything can and will happen in America. Like, anything is possible derogatory.
So, Excelsior. Let's talk about this. I honestly want to hear somebody else's take before I just jump in on this.
I love this thing. I don't know how the fuck they got it built in Pakistan, considering the extremely fraught political situation between India and Pakistan, including the fact that their nuclear powers are involved. But apparently he did, and it kind of whips. Sorry, this is like if the what was the name of the tank from
Shagohod?
Shagohod?
Yeah, if the Shagohod went off, that's what we're looking at right here with Excelsis. Like it has some like industrial look and some military look, but it's a big spider and it kind of whips. Brian, you rolled your eyes. Please rebut me. We are in the forum of ideas.
The marketplace of ideas. Look, my rugged individualism as a rational actor. Let me just say, this game proves the Metal Gear thesis that I think. So this is the value of this game in the Metal Gear to me, is it proves our early thesis, which is that one of the things Metal Gear Solid 1 does so excellently that sets the precedent for like every moment the rest of the series interacts with mechs is that you spend the entire game leading up to this like climactic moment. You have to climb over the scary dormant husk of the machine. You're here. You've spent the last, double the amount of fucking hours in this game trying to like suppress or disable or destroy or otherwise like countermeasure. And that is what leads it to be such a climactic thing. And that is the beginning of the runway that leads to the, again, all-timer on the shoulders of giants moment we all agree, which is the Ray versus Rex fight in Metal Gear Solid 4.
God, that was so good.
This game has absolutely none of that juice. Metal Gear Excelsis comes out of absolutely fucking nowhere. There's no context. There is absolutely no like background information. We have not seen a single sepia-drenched porn shot of fucking Excelsis's feet while someone talks about neoliberalism. It does not hit.
Like, even Sahelanthropus is a disaster, but even Sahelanthropus had some banger foreshadowing before you actually fought it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
There's no weight to it. There's no mythos. It's just like, we are a Metal Gear game.
Unfortunately,
we need a Metal Gear.
And from a gameplay standpoint too, guess what? The only thing this thing can do that interrupts the flow of combat is stun you and force you to wiggle the left control stick.
And I will say,
it's such a bad fight.
Based on the structure of a Metal Gear game, the Metal Gear in this is not Metal Gear Excelsis. It's Senator Armstrong.
Right.
Because his foreshadowing throughout this game has been peppered in the way that normally a Metal Gear would be peppered in.
Yeah.
But he's just a guy from Colorado.
He's just a guy. Have you met Senator Armstrong?
I'm gonna meet him.
Dude is ripped and so fucking cool.
RFK is not just a guy. He is the guy, and he is the guy that will lead to many deaths. Okay.
This is the note I have on what proceeds to happen. Because you fight Excelsis, you rip its arms off, it's fucking Metal Gear Rising. I don't know what you expected. You finally get to fighting with Senator Armstrong on top of Excelsis, and this is fucking art, okay? You've heard of every frame of painting, get ready for every line of poem.
Yeah.
Like, throughout, this is the most trenchant satire and criticism of American Empire in the Metal Gear series.
Against all odds, against how much I hated this game, we are so back.
And there's 2 stages, which is fantastic, because he starts with jingoistic nationalism. He starts with this is what America should be, including dropping the phrase "Make America Great Again," which leads me to believe that a fucked up Metal Gear pilled right-winger is the reason we have MAGA. Like, I have to think that this phrase made its way through forums to Trump. Like, I have to think that this is the origin.
Nico, can you, in other Metal Gear Solid episodes, I have made you read lines with me.
Oh, yes.
Can you read some lines with me? But you're going to be...
can you link it?
You're going to be Raiden.
Oh, yes, okay. You don't want me to deliver the lines?
Give us your best Quentin Flynn doing Batman.
Oh, God.
Ready?
I gotta get Joker-fied real quick. Okay.
Let's go!
The hell are you thinking?
Played college ball, you know.
At some cushy Ivy League school.
Try University of Texas. Could have gone pro if I hadn't joined the Navy. I'm not one of those beltway pansies. I could break the president in 2 with my bare hands. Don't fuck with this senator!
Metal Gear is actually possibly the only video game ever made. Metal Gear Rising.
This is...
So, like I said, there's 2 stages to this, right? He starts with the hardcore American jingoism, and then halfway through, Raiden does a handshake fake out, which is maybe the funniest shit on earth, where Raiden's like, damn, you're swaying me with your politics and ideas. And then they go in for the handshake, and then Raiden tries to get the drop on him, which is when Senator Armstrong then takes off the second mask and reveals that actually, he's not a conservative. He's a libertarian. Which is when I make the note. Does Metal Gear actually offer political insight?
Okay.
Quickly followed by the note, nanomachines.
Can I? Okay.
Yeah, go.
I'm going to get into this, the drunk record, but I'm going to get deep and dark, and I'm sorry for everybody. I want to read part of Senator Armstrong's, this is a leaked conversation from Senator Armstrong, and it is way too prescient for what this game is.
Oh, it's fucked.
I owe you for that speech you wrote. It did wonders for my approval ratings. You understand what matters. Filters, information control, none of that matters anymore. People these days don't care about what's right or wrong. It's all about the spin. How well you can shift the blame to the other guy. People these days only see what they want to see. Don't tell me you're still on that grand jury nonsense. They've got nothing that connects me to Desperado. Besides, the average Joe doesn't give a shit. Either way, people these days think money is the solution to all their problems. We need to bring back the greatness of the good old America. Reclaim the American dream. To do that, we need to make sacrifices. That's what those pansies and the so-called Tea Party don't seem to realize. This is a revolution, my friend. We are the true sons of liberty. Anyway, I gotta run. We'll talk soon. Fuck, this game is way too prescient for its time.
It sucks to be living in the joke exaggerated America of Metal Gear. It sucks to just be living in that. Like, it normally. Sucks. Like, I go to work in here. Like...
Right, is really what Denver looks like, by the way?
It is what Denver looks like.
It is what Denver looks like every single day. I am constantly besieged by privatized police forces and nanomachines.
Yesterday I went out and I was gardening in this America. I need you to know, I was hoeing some soil in this America. And we just live like this. If you don't live in America, I'm sorry. We live like this.
Now, I do have to talk about every line of poetry, the line that... So, the Raiden line of all time... This line tops I Am Lightning the Rain Transformed. This song tops everything. This line is incredible. Raiden says, I promise that my sword was a tool for justice and never for violence or vengeance. It's a good thing this isn't my sword. Fucking so banger.
In that moment, he married Jetstream Sam. It doesn't matter that he was already married and that Jetstream Sam was dead. Like, that's what happened right there. If you were wondering, I have officiated a gay wedding. That's what just happened.
Yeah. 100%.
Nanomachine, son.
Nanomachines.
Okay, and then we get... Raiden does defeat, again, we live in the darkest timeline where we don't have a Raiden, or at least Alice hasn't embraced her future as Raiden. I'm looking forward to the gender confirmation surgery that just turns you into Raiden from Metal Gear. I don't know what gender that is, but it will be confirmed.
Hey, if that does happen, I'll at least know how to turn my head enough that my chin doesn't get trimmed 3 times in one fucking game.
Raiden gets shaved like 3 times. But anyway, Raiden defeats Governor John Hickenlooper.
Please, Senator John Hickenlooper.
Please.
I'm just thinking of that tweet where those women were walking in DC and looking at a guy and then jokingly said, Senator John Hickenlooper looking ass, and he turned around and it was Senator John Hickenlooper.
Good Christ.
Anyway,
what a
in the epilogue, we find out the solution to the 1 million. The game's over. That's it.
We've solved war. We've defeated the war economy.
So we've defeated the war economy, but we have to figure out the regular economy, and the solution is the 1 million child brainstem gig workers. You know, we have a crisis in America.
Can I get into the, dark part of this?
I'm going to get real with the listener for a second here, okay? We have a crisis in America. If you have never worked in or around elder care, a lot of people like to think the moment that their parents get old or they get old, something will take care of this. Unfortunately, there is a care gap. A lot of people are unprepared for the aging of their parents who will then need care either at a facility or, Brian, what have you got in your mouth?
No, don't acknowledge it. Keep going. Keep going.
They aren't prepared for the fact that their parents are either going to need care in a facility or to age in place with them at home. And especially our generation, where I think a lot of people have decided not to have children, you have not had that built-in guarantee or pseudo-guarantee of the future.
Keep going.
It's really hard to ignore Brian doing this. Anyway,
keep going.
There is no guarantee of how you will be cared for when you are older. One of the trades specifically mentioned for the 1 million child brainstem issue is elder care.
That's right.
So all we need to do to take care of aging populations is sweep up 1 million orphans off the streets of Sao Paulo and Pakistan, everywhere, and turn them into home health workers. Anyway, the real crime in this epilogue is that Compet comes for Sunny.
I think this might be our most unhinged episode ever, even for bonus episodes. That's all I want to say.
Hey, if you are a working young person right now, start thinking about what is going to happen when you can't walk. Okay? You don't cash out your 401k if you can roll it over.
Hey, but is Sunny okay?
Sunny, unfortunately, has been subjected to George Washington, the most ethnic child in the world.
What are we doing that so they've attempted to rhyme this game with Metal Gear in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So much. It's trying to hit those rhymes.
The fuck are we doing this weird fraught conversation with a brown boy that Sunny has at the end of the game, exactly like Metal Gear Solid 4? I do not understand why this is a different small brown boy and why
the future of the world, but especially America, the sake is hitting, is that we need to get our hyper-intelligent women in STEM with ethnic guys. This is how we fix DEI.
How much of that bottle have you drank?
There's about that much left.
All right. Hey, what's something very important that we have to do on this pod? Wait, do we do this for bonus episodes?
Yes, we do.
No,
okay.
I haven't finished. My last bullet point is...
Oh, you have another one.
Raiden decides to stay as an independent contractor, and he becomes a Justice Ronin. And that's how Raiden ends. This is the last record we have of events in the Metal Gear timeline. Raiden is a Justice Ronin, presumably no longer providing healthcare benefits to his wife and child in Japan.
Chronologically, this is the last game of the Metal Gear franchise.
I hate Raiden's wife, and I think his kid is weird. So this may be actually a better ending than Metal Gear Solid 4, but what the fuck are we doing?
I'm wasted, and I love
you. Just gotta let it happen. That's my opinion. You just gotta let it happen.
This is what Raiden wants. One at Thanksgiving? Is this like Raiden's home for the holidays?
I don't know when we're dropping this.
Hey. Happy Thanksgiving, Raiden.
Alice, what's your rating? What's your mech rating?
Okay. So this game, we didn't talk about it. There are a few scenes where Raiden fights geckos that are very not as good as in Metal Gear Solid 4, but very good.
They still moo, but they're pretty good.
When he fight, there are two different Rays in this, and in one of the Rays, Ray has a plasma chainsaw that we have never seen Ray use before that Raiden counters with his own lightning blade, which is just very iconic. And then jumps on missiles that Ray shoots to get close enough to fight Ray.
We didn't even talk about the fact that Raiden can ride missiles. Raiden is on the full Doctor Strangelove, and we didn't even mention it because it doesn't
I'm giving
rank.
my review, Nico. Could you?
I'm sorry.
Could you dial back?
I'll mute.
No, this happened. I'll mute. So this happens. It's very good. As far as mecha goes, the sense of scale is perfect. I love Ray, even though I prefer Rex, as we've established. Ray is very fun. As of Excelsior, the worst Metal Gear ever created ever, this thing is nothing. It's a nothing burger mech. It exists for what this game is doing. It's not a great mech. If we want to
hold on. I'm interrupting to say that I saw a really great post that said the everything bagel is the antidote to the nothing burger. And I just wanted to share that with you because I thought of you when I saw that post.
Did you know that my coworker, my work wife, said that I can't say nothing burger again because I've been saying it too much?
You need to start saying everything bagel, okay? Anyway.
I love everything bagels. So, I feel like we can include Mistral in what a mech is because of how she uses these small, what do you call those, Brian? The little 3-hand guys?
Dwarf geckos.
The dwarf geckos. She uses the dwarf geckos. I feel like she creates a mech in a cool way. This is a bonus episode, so I don't actually have to give a rating. But
Bullshit!
17 out of 10. I love French women. I love the memes. Wait, am I supposed to give this a real rating, Brian? I need you to know. I
No, give it a 17. Fuck you.
17
It's
out
fine.
of 10. I feel like Mistral is fucking amazing. I love the sense of scale between the geckos and Raiden, Metal Gear Ray and Raiden, and even Excelsior is a bad mech. Bad mechs can exist, but how it makes me feel about mechs is I went, fuck yeah, not wow, cool robot. I went, fuck yeah, cool robot. So 17 out of 10 is my score.
Nothing that happens in this game is enough to distract from how deeply unpleasant the experience of playing it is. Every single time something cool happened with mechs, I was like, oh, that's cool that happened with mechs, but now I have to deal with it in terms of the gameplay, which is the worst shit I've ever fucking experienced in my life. So, this is a solid 6 for me. A lot of stuff made me pop. A lot of cool mecha moments happened. I think it's such a waste and such a mistake that Metal Gear Ray was just thrown at you at the beginning and it was absolutely effortless. I think that Metal Gear Excelsis looks kind of stupid and has absolutely no foreshadowing. And the fight, again, is just another rerun at the exact same thing you've been doing for 7 hours. I don't think anything in this makes me pop enough to subtract from the fact that all of the context is absolutely dog shit. So this is a 6.
Okay.
That's so hot.
I gotta write this down before I forget. Okay, Alice was a 17. Brian was a 6.
This isn't going on the rating scale,
No,
by
it's
the way.
going
Yes,
on the
it
rating
is.
scale.
Yes, it is.
Because I'm gonna fix it all. Unfortunately for this game, the mechs do not matter. The coolest ones are UAVs, which are drones, which we do not
UAVs.
consider mechs. The
Whoa,
only mechs...
okay. We
Blade
can fight on
Wolf
that.
is an AI, and to be fair, okay, this is the wrap-up of the Metal Year. Next year, we're looking forward to...
The Metal Year.
Ghost in the Year, or something, which is going to be our Ghost in the Shell year. Brian, what's that?
No, that's locked in. That's the name now.
I was
Ghost in-
mewing.
Ghost in the Year.
I was mewing and mogging.
Next year is Ghost in the Year. We're going to be talking, I think, a lot more about themes that we touched on with Metallic Rouge, actually. Like, to what extent is the body a mech? And to what extent is a mech a body? But for the time being, we are in the Metal Year, and the only thing that fucking mattered in this game was Senator Armstrong. I'm giving this game a negative 17. Which means that the only score that matters is Brian's.
Okay, this is the exact... This is perfect. Okay. Hey.
Nico and
still feel
Alice
like
really
we should
said,
do
I'm
that.
canceling my spouse's vote out.
This household is destroyed.
You have to look at our daughter, Sunny, and tell her what we did. You have to look at her and say, Mommy and Mommy were fighting. And...
Well, this echoes beautifully. Like, it rhymes. Like, George Lucas, it rhymes. The fact that they divorced.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
Okay, after the break, I don't know what we're gonna do. Brian insists we must have a game, but I think we should simply do a debrief on the entire Metal Year and just talk about what it's like to have a themed
cut to
year
the break, bitch.
and to have mechs. And this is the break now. You're in it.
Hey guys, Alice here. Thanks for listening to On the Shoulders of Giants. We're really happy you're here, but if you know anybody who might be interested, we'd love if you share our work with them. If you are enjoying what we're doing, maybe send us a message, or what would really help us out is if you leave a review online. Really, a lot of the algorithms will push people down if they don't have reviews, so it really helps if you just go and write something on the internet. Heck, we might even read one on the podcast if it's really nice and makes our hearts go doki doki. So if you could do that, maybe do it, and thanks again for listening. Now, back to the show.
Nico, shut the fuck up. Top 3 Pringles flavors: dill pickle, pizza, barbecue.
I agree with pizza. That's the only one I agree with.
I have taken hosting privileges from Nico because she went a little too far. We are going to play a game, and that game is very, very simple. We're going to play You Quizzes. Which Metal Gear Solid character, Rising and Solid character are you? But the caveat is we are going to play as a group and find out what metaphysical entity OSG is as a Metal Gear
We're doing
character.
this as a collective of the OSG host, correct?
So, I'm going to give... we're just going to wing this, and we're just going to discuss, okay? We're just going, okay? Question 1. What's your fashion sense? The answers are simple and consistent, a balance of comfort and style. The second option is as modern and cultured as possible. The third is focus on efficiency over design. The next one is comfort, nothing else. Old-fashioned or well-dressed. Streetwear. Now, this quiz is legit, you know, because it spells streetwear STREETWARE. And then the last option, which is the one we have to pick, I'm already deciding this, Western or country.
I do have cowboy boots that I just have, so
I'm a country girl as
I'm
it
a simple
comes.
country Metal Gear fan.
This is country.
This is country spelled
For those listeners, Brian is holding
C-U-N-T-R-Y.
up the shirt showing the characters from Counterweight, right?
Yes.
I have cowboy boots with my cat pissed on them. What do I do?
Well, that's a you and a cat. Hey, country girls don't care about no piss smell. We put on them boots as we need them.
This next one's going to be good.
Okay.
Do you find it hard to connect with people?
Yes. What?
One, I don't ever really connect with people. 2, I can find common ground with anyone. 3, I only connect people similar to me. 4, only with my family and or closest to friends. 5, I can connect with a good amount of people. And then finally, given enough time, I'll eventually make a connection.
5, I talk to people in the supermarket. Okay, that's my answer. You have to figure out the median with y'all's answers.
Hey, I'm going to take this moment in this exact question to talk to the listener. Listener, if you aren't already a little tipsy for this episode, I want to apologize for what we're doing right now. Dealing with drunk people is very hard, but I feel like we're having a lot of fun talking about one of the wildest Metal Gear Solid games ever created.
If you're
And please
sober
enjoy
and you're
this.
not having fun, then you can listen to other episodes where we're more on top of it. Okay?
Go listen to our episode
also
where we
follow up-
mentioned Edward Said. I'm sure there's one of them.
I agree with choice 5. We out here Midwesterning like, hey y'all, how you doing? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about them mechs. What about you, Brian?
Question 3. How is your relationship with family? 1, poor. I don't get along with both parents and sibling. 2, perfect. I do anything for my siblings and parents, and they do the same for me. 3, fair enough. I get along with most of my family, but sometimes things go south. 4, great relationship with siblings, but poor with parents. 5, great with parents, but my siblings don't like each other. 6, nothing. We don't like each other or hate each other. We just stay out of each other's way.
2, I would, me and my family do anything for each other, but there is that vibe around it. Nico, what's your answer?
3. I'm 3. Because I'm technically 5, but I'm 3. Because, like, I'm an only child. In case people haven't already figured out from the way that I engage with the podcast, I'm an only child. But I have a really good relationship with my mom, and we can talk about anything. So I'll settle for 3.
Brian?
I think we should go for the medium, which is 3, because otherwise Nico would have picked 5, and otherwise Alice would have picked 2. I have a good relationship with my siblings. I don't think things ever go south, but we're not close in the, like, and a lot of this has to do with the fact that we're just not geographically close. But, like, I physically could not
Brian's
do
in
anything for
Denver.
my parents and siblings at any
Brian,
time
are
just
you in
because.
Denver where the cops are just fucking wilding?
Yeah, so the cops in Denver are privatized, and there's always cyborg ninjas falling out of helicopters. And so, like, in that context, I just can't do a lot for my family. Okay, question 4, very similar question. What would you do for your family?
Yes.
1, I would kill, maim, and die for them. They mean so much to me. 2, I would help them out even if it hurts me, but I wouldn't die for them. 3, I'd occasionally help out, but I don't really care too much. 4, I don't care what happens to them. It doesn't affect me. And 5, I'll probably be killing one of them.
If we are going as OSG, I think number 1. I feel like
if OSG fam is number 1, I would kill, maim, and die for any of you.
I feel
Ghost,
like, hey,
I would
listeners,
do anything for you.
Ghost is a metaphor for all of our fans. To the other fans other than Ghost, I would kill, maim, and die for you. And this isn't me just putting on a character.
Milo,
I would do
Connor,
that.
I would kill your enemies.
Next question. Who's most important to you? 1, myself. 2, a friend or lover. 3, a family member. 4, a hero of mine. 5, no one. 6, everyone.
You can't be living for everyone. I'm sorry.
No, I got it. Okay. Personally, 6. I'm dying for everyone.
Stop dying for everyone.
As
Then we gotta
OSG,
then we gotta hit the
So-
middle ground, which is a hero of mine. Well, who is our hero in Metal Gear Solid? All of it, every
Shoji
game.
Kawamori.
Okay, no, that's the answer. We're moving on. Our hero in all of Metal Gear is Shoji Kawamori.
Okay, that's the official OSG stance. This is our worst episode ever created. I'm so sad for whoever has to edit this.
I think this is the most fun I've ever had while drunk. Thank you.
Our worst episode.
Okay. Favorite medieval weapon?
Oh shit, ballista.
What?
Or halberd.
Read that again.
Favorite medieval weapon? 1, bows and crossbows. 2, pole arms, halberds, spears, naginatas, and lances.
Yeah.
3, standard swords. 4, great swords. 5, bludgeoning weapons. And 6, trebuchet and other machines.
Those are siege equipment. I feel like they should be in a different category.
We're a mech
from
podcast. We need to pick other machines. We need to pick machines.
Pole arms.
Bows. Wait, are we doing this as OSG or as our own self?
As
Brian?
OSG, we're the mech podcast. We have to do...
I feel like OSG is siege equipment because mech, right?
You all know that I stand for the naginata, okay? I wanted to learn how to use one when I was but a child.
The naginata is just
When
a
I was
bad
but a
polearm,
child.
Nico.
Okay, how would you win a fight? 1,
I wouldn't.
brute force, no one can stop me, I'm
Real.
invincible. 2, through truly underhanded tactics, who cares about honor, victory is all that matters. 3, skillfully. 4, with a disadvantage, I'll purposefully give myself a deficit.
Revengeance of the cocktail.
With a disadvantage, I purposefully give myself a deficit so as to prove myself. And then 6, whatever is the most fun for me.
I think we're all on 2, right?
I think we're all on 2.
Yep.
Read it again. What is 2?
Through truly
Because
underhanded tactics, who cares about honor? Victory is all that matters.
I would fart directly on you if it applied a debuff.
Is that a promise?
Yes.
This is how we know Nico's gone, is because she just made a fart joke, and we all know how much she hates fart.
She hates that shit. I love you.
Next question, semi-ultimate question. What is it called? Penultimate. That's what I should say. Penultimate question.
That means to the next to the last.
It does.
Listeners.
What is your biggest weakness?
Oh.
1.
I love too hard. I'm too invested in my work.
No,
when I work,
there are answers.
1, Alice. I'm kind of stupid. I just don't really pay attention.
Hey, why did you say my name before that one? Because I just feel like that seemed targeted, but also
2, I'm overly confident. I think I can do anything, or I don't trust those around me. 3, anxious, nervous, or shy. I can't really connect with people. 4, I can't understand people or their faces or their actions. Why do they do the things that they do? 5, I'm cruel and vindictive. People get what they deserve. 6, I have to be better. I'm never letting anything go. 7, I let emotions take over and hardly ever logically think through things. And then finally, I can't let go of the past.
Are you ever in a group geology project and you can't let go of the past? I'm a 2. I have to.
No, we gotta. I'm a 1, but I also feel like the podcast is a 1. What do you think, Brian?
What's 1 again?
I'm kind of stupid. I just don't really pay attention. That is the podcast, actually.
I feel like that's very podcast. I feel like that's OSG as a whole.
Okay.
We're a little stupid. We're trying our
OSG
best.
flunked midterms. Who passed midterms and who flunked them? OSG flunked them. FTL passed them. GRFM passed them.
GRFM got the, they scored 100% on this test.
Well, there's your problem failed. Bunta Vista failed. We failed. And everybody else probably passed, I feel like.
Bunta Vista? Hey,
You had to
that's not wrong. That's what I'll say. That's not
All right,
wrong.
final question. Are we ready?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the most important thing.
Okay.
Pick a Metal Gear quote. 1, it's not about changing the world, it's about doing our best to leave it the way it is. 2, building the future and keeping the past alive are the same things. 3, we're breeding.
We're breeding?
Brian?
We're
Brian,
bringing
focus.
freedom here if it kills us, or better yet, them. 4, I won't scatter your sorrow to the heartless sea. I will always be with you. Plant your roots in me. I won't see your end as ashes. You are all diamonds. 5, at least I always fought for what I believed in. 6, do you too believe that your sacrifice will change the world? And finally, it is easier to live a convenient lie than a painful truth. It's 4, right?
Yeah, it's
gotta
4,
be
but
4.
where's
Brian.
Nanomachine son?
Brian, I need you to give a full read of this. As the OSG representative, after the Metal Year, what is the statement that aligns with OSG? Go.
4.
As Kiefer Sutherland famously said, I won't scatter your sorrow to the heartless sea. I will always be with you. Plant your roots in me. I won't see your end as ashes. You are all diamonds.
I'm going to say that at a wedding. I can't do it at your wedding anymore because I already officiated that one. But Alice, you're on watch.
Anybody who has listened to this episode through this point, I need you to know the parasocialism I feel for you is real, and I will spread your ashes over my
parasocial,
face.
it's just social. We are all actually friends.
I am friends with a lot of our fans. That's the
our
worst
fans.
part.
Our fans. Sorry, I didn't realize
Milo
that.
and Connor,
No, I'm
thank you.
parasocial with you, Brian. I look up to you, and I deeply need your
shit.
validation.
Wait, bonus round. Hold on.
Wait. Bonus round.
Pick another Metal Gear quote.
Oh, fuck. What are we going to do?
I'm fucking invincible. It's like one of my Japanese animes. Memes the DNA of the soul. Engravings offer no tactical advantages. Why are we still here just to suffer? And I am lightning the rain transformed. This is hard. These are all bangers.
Okay. I gotta get into this. It's just like one of my Japanese animes. I feel emotionally as my own. But if I'm going as OSG, it's the suffering one. 100%. 100% that's us.
It's 4.
Okay, here we go. This is our answer. What is our character?
Did we just get Johnny? I'll kill myself. I'll kill
Johnny.
myself alive on air.
He's pooping. He's farting. It's
I will
Johnny.
commit seppuku.
Brian,
Who
give
do we
us the
get?
read.
Like I said, kids are cruel, Jack, and I'm very in touch with my inner child. We got Sundowner.
Hey, if you're still with us at this point in the record, those listening to this episode, just know we are really enjoying Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. But only in a... Okay, Nico is dead. Brian.
My face hurts from smiling. We have to just wrap this up now.
What is the end of our quiz?
That's the end.
Sundowner.
At
What
the
did
end
you
of it
say?
all, at the end of it all this suffering that Nico went through at the behest of Alice and I, at the end of it
became
all,
Dick
the apex of
Cheney.
it all, we are Crispin Freeman doing an extremely shitty Southern accent at the end of it. That is what we get. That is how we end things on the Metal Year.
Hey, guys, it's the time for us to talk about the Metal Year in a holistic, we are wrapping it up, emotional way.
I feel like a more complete person. No, I'm answering right now, okay? You did this
We go
to me.
alphabetical.
You
We go
did
alphabetical.
this to me. Secretly,
do
I am
shit.
first in alphabetical order. Secretly.
Hey,
You did this to
Nico,
me.
go.
You did this to me. You all did this to me. And thank you so much, because I've been so interested in Metal Gear for so long. And I was like, is it good? Is it bad? I don't know anything about Metal Gear. And you know what the answer is?
Yes.
Sundowner. I lived through 5 lifetimes due to Hideo Kojima, a man who, if I ever see him, I will begin violence. But I'm better, and I know more because of this. Thank you, my friends.
I'll go next because Brian, the Metal Year was Brian's proposal to the team. So I'm going to let Brian
Brian's
go
show.
last because I feel like Brian can really conceptualize and wrap up what we are talking about.
Brian,
Here's
you gotta
my
get
thought.
an olive.
Here's my thought. Hey, Metal Gear Solid means a lot to me. I played this when I was a child. I played this when I was an adult.
Dropped an olive.
I transitioned in the shadow of Hideo Kojima. I became a woman under what Metal Gear Solid was. And
That's incredible.
all of this to say, I hate so much about this. I am so mad about so much about this. But I love so much about this. Not Mistral, the French bitch. Metal Gear Solid Revengeance is we already have the assets, let's make a new game. That's my full report on what this game is. But the Metal Gear Solid series and the Metal Year that we experienced, I love women. I love every woman in a Hideo Kojima game, despite what Hideo Kojima did to them.
I will
I
save
love
them.
this. It's so fucking good. I know we already did our metal ranking, our mecha ranking for this episode, but this is so much better of an ending and so much better of a cap on what we've done with the Metal Year over the end of Metal Gear Solid 5, which I think we are all feeling gross about, angry about. But this is like, okay, women can exist. I love all of them. I want to be all of them. But also, the mecha of this all, I had such a fun time in the Metal Year with both of you, especially seeing Nico experiencing this for the first time and seeing Brian re-engaging with this love that they have and recontextualizing it. I feel like out of all of this, out of what we have done at OSG to re-experience what mecha is, I feel like this is a perfect cap. And that also, this is the greatest thing that has happened since 9/11. Brian, I need you to finish out the Metal Year with your final thoughts.
The Metal Year was like in some ways everything I'd hoped for and everything I feared in the same little package, because like the way that I was from the jump, like from when I was making my outline notes for Metal Gear Solid 1, the way that I was fully calculating the trajectory of, you know, there's going to be a lot of stuff in our future that will be extremely frictional, especially when it comes to like Nico being like someone who deeply, deeply cares about how women are portrayed in media.
I love women.
Women.
But I also knew, and my knowing paid off in the best possible way, knowing that when we were going to talk about the Ray versus Rex fight scene in Metal Gear Solid 4, that we would need to know everything else that had happened that got us to this point. There is no other feeling like it. I definitely think that Metal Gear Solid 4 is one of our best episodes, because that energy, when we got to that part, was truly remarkable and truly unique and like a signifier of what this podcast I think can do in terms of like enthusiasm and like giving into astonishment and things like that.
It was everything to me.
It was everything. And so like I'm very happy with how this turned out. I like Metal Gear. I like this episode that we did on Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance as a cap off because it was such a piece of garbage and because I think it's incredibly funny that the climax of everything was this like total piece of shit of a game with this like quiz that told us that we were the worst character in the entire franchise. Like, I really think that's what we deserve.
Brian, this is the end of history.
It's the end of history. I again, if you're like a first-time listener, or if you're coming to this, I'm sorry, and if you're or if you're not a first-time listener and like you just haven't listened to the Metal Gear, I would genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, encourage you to like, if you need to skip everything else, just go for Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go all the way through. I really think that we did a very good job capturing what it's like to be someone from a marginalized community, from being queer, coming to this game that just like has some stuff going on. And I genuinely like am extremely proud of the last year of OSG, if for no other reason than that. Now, let me say this. I am currently editing the Cosmic Warlord Kinbright episode, and I think that might be our best episode ever made. But this, in terms of a project, has just been incredibly fulfilling to all of us, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Brian, I have to ask, in the spectrum of mecha as a genre, as
I'm sorry.
The
Mectrum.
The Mectrum.
In the Mectrum, do you feel like by doing Metal Gear Solid, the whole series first, like that's our first big project, do you feel like this has really outlined what the mecha sphere is by addressing MGS? How do you feel about this?
I would say that dogmatically, like, it's not for us to say what the pinnacle or what the cornerstone is. I would say, as far as the OSG project is concerned, this is going to be an extremely foundational project that we will continually relate to. I already have so much to say about Ghost in the Shell being framed in a podcast that previously did the whole Metal Gear thing, right? So I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited to carry forward. You know, Metal Gear, to just talk about like one of our hitherto, who at this point we've gotten so many things in the bag that I don't understand, and the possibilities seem kind of endless to me. But right now, one of our unaddressed senpai podcasts, Shelved by Genre, Metal Gear is kind of a specter that hangs over that podcast because they know they all like that game series and they know they all want that their fans all want them to cover it eventually. Mm-hmm. I think that we are fortunate in coming this from the opposite perspective, where it's like, we did already do that. We get to relate to that as a genre to everything else that we get to cover from now on, which is going to be really interesting. So I'm looking forward to that as an atmosphere.
Yeah. Okay, I've sobered up a little bit. Are we ready for me to attempt the outro?
Hey.
Yes.
No, we're not there yet.
Oh, we're not?
No,
Alice,
we haven't done the letter.
What letter?
No letter? What fucking letter?
I wrote a letter for all of us.
Oh, you did?
I wrote a letter right now.
Dear Raiden, no, we can't do it. Why am I still... Hey, do I have to wear this bandana over my left eye for the entire podcast?
Yes.
Yeah,
you
and
said you
including
would.
your niece's birthday party.
Which is part of the podcast.
Which is part of the
My
podcast.
niece's birthday party is a part of osgpod.com. Is that our website?
What?
Comments at OS. Hey, I just want to say I'm so glad we're done with Metal Gear Solid and I never have to talk about it again.
Okay, but Kojima made that tweet. No, but Kojima made that tweet that's like, he wants to make a video game so good that aliens think it's good when they discover it in like 1,000,000 years. Do you think whatever he makes will have mechs in it?
Yes.
Brian?
No.
Okay.
No.
Hey, do you feel like Death
yes,
Stranding
hold on.
is mechs?
I think, caveat, yes, comma, I think that game already exists, and I think it's Death Stranding because that game is so alien to everyone on Earth that it received mixed responses, but I think that game will be popular with aliens.
Okay, Death Stranding is the Ferris Bueller's Day Off of aliens. I get it. Now,
do you know, I don't think that you actually understand the phrase that you just said, if I'm being real.
It's for aliens.
Have you seen that movie?
And that's this
what
episode.
What the fuck? You haven't seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
All
I'm
right.
the anti-Kojima. I've never seen an 80s movie. I'm kidding. I've seen Evil Dead
Nico,
2.
you'll have to just run over Alice if she continues. Give us the outro.
And that's this episode of On the Shoulders of Giants, where we discussed Metal Gear Rising Revengeance 2013. Any parting thoughts, my friends? You know what my parting thought is? End the American Empire in our lifetime.
This is the greatest thing that has happened since 9/11. I feel like I love all of you. I love everybody who listens to this. I'm parasocial with you, but also, can you just enjoy the post 9/11 world that we live in? It's great. Brian, what about you?
Here are my final thoughts. Hold on. I'm just gonna...
Brian's scrolling down to a prepared statement.
He's got a prepared statement.
Born to Die, Denver is a fuck. Kill 'em all 2018. I am Cyborg Man. 410,757,864,530 dead cops.
So true. That's so true. Thanks for listening. Pilots, remember you can reach out for advice from the team at our email, questions@osgpod.com, and non-pilots can send general questions or feedback to the same address. You can catch up with us on social media. The links are in the description for updates and more. I'm making it happen, Brian. Shut up. Make sure to check back after a period of time, because I don't know when this is coming out, when we'll be discussing something.
It'll be Endless Waltz. I think this episode needs to come out before Endless Waltz.
When we will at some point be discussing Endless Waltz. Until then, goodbye. I'm wasted as fuck, and I love you.
What about all the good things war has done for us? Why don't we ever have speeches about that? Jobs, technology, a common purpose. All we're saying is give war a chance.
If you're listening to this, goodbye. I love you. And if you're
Goodbye, I love you.
if you're Hideo Kojima listening to this, it is on site.
I love you.